Hi YouTube. Oh wait, actually before we get into the intro, um, I apologize. The stream took a little bit longer to start. My cats are. They're still in my room. Oh, they're under my bed. Okay, I was trying to get them out of my room and they weren't moving. So yeah, they're in here, I guess. So I might have to go get up and let them out of my room at some point during the stream. But the reason why I wanted to wait to start the intro is because this stream we will be doing face cam, and that's because mainly I got this idea from Guap, if you guys know who that is, because I watched his Star Rail 2.0 video and stuff, and he had his face cam on because the same reason actually that I've been considering using Facecam for these is because, you know, story quests and stuff, I'm not really talking that much because of the, you know, in-game dialogue. So you're not really getting like that much of a reaction from me for a lot of it, so Facecam helps a lot with that. And hold on, I'm eating a piece of candy right now. So yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I think I'll start doing that too. Might not be doing this for every stream though. It might just be like the Genshin starting ones. I don't know if I'm gonna do this for like every single stream I do now or not. And I think my cat wants to get out now, so hold on. Okay, no, she's just hanging out in the window. Anyways, though, yeah, we'll swap over to the game, get Facecam. Well, it's already on and stuff. Once I swap to the game, it'll start going. So, 3, 2, 1, and boom. And I got blue light on my face. So yeah, this is gonna take a little bit of me getting used to. Mainly because I'm not used to you guys being able to see me. Really? Oh, now you want to leave? Okay, let me get my gun out. Hold on. What? Go. Nope. No. I know what you're trying to do. She's trying to play with like the little sound panels on my door. Let me get Genshin going though on this. Genshin packed. There we go. There we go. So I was just gonna do this stream though for just one of the character quests, and then I was like, you know what? I'll do one, and if I feel like it, if I'm still in the mindset to go through it, we'll do another one though. So that's why I didn't just title this like, what's the first one? Day story quest or whatever, right? I just named it like multiple. So there I go to the Grand Bazaar. It's been a long time since I've been there actually. Sunflower seeds.
Time to go.
It's been a while since I did a Sumerian quest. I mean, excluding like world quests and stuff. I actually got the Tree of Dreams thingies level 50 earlier today. So that was pretty nice.
I was trying to remember. What else did we put on our shopping list? Oh, what a mouth-watering smell. Paimon would know the aroma of biryani.
Of course, first thing Paimon notices is the food.
Some.
That wasn't on our list, was it?
We can still add it to the list.
Well, if it isn't the Traveler and Paimon. Wasn't expecting to see you here.
Hello there. Oh, it's been quite a while.
Jinizard.
Huh. So you two are still hanging out together. Dia,
Forgot about that whole
last
thing
time
until
that you
now,
were gonna
actually.
head back to the desert?
My god, my cat's trying to play with my...
I said I was going to resign from
Sun
being her
hairs.
bodyguard. Not that
I
our
don't know if you guys
friendship
can
was
see
over.
it.
We're still the best of friends. The Homayanis also still post
Oh,
jobs
of
from
course
time to
she's not.
time.
Oh, there's
Their
your boss.
pay is always generous, so me and the other mercs never pass them up.
I told Dia to just stay at our place when she took one of those jobs a few days ago. My parents were delighted. They even said that it always felt like we were missing someone whenever Dia wasn't around.
Get up, get back.
That sounds like something they would say, all right. They're
That's-
always so
that's good.
welcoming. Anyway, the job is already taken care of, so I was gonna head back to the brigade as soon as I finished a little shopping. But the master kept insisting, and I ended up staying for another day.
You can stay for as many days as you want, Dia. Father hasn't even gotten around to treating you to his best dishes yet.
You know I'm not the kind of person to stay put in one place like that, my lady. Don't worry, though. There'll always be next time.
But she said they'll treat you to the best dishes. I can't believe you can still refuse that.
Paimon would accept
But
literally
wait.
anything.
Didn't you say last time that
If
you would
you
take me on a trip
had
to the
to.
desert? Why don't you just take me with you today, when you leave? There are so many places I still haven't visited yet.
I'm sorry, my lady, but no can do. There's still a few things I need to take care of back at the brigade. Besides, the desert hasn't exactly been the most peaceful place lately.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't want to go back to the
Not this
desert.
Again. That's also what you said last time.
I just finished
and the
exploring
time
there
before
earlier
that.
today.
I know, I'm sorry. Just give me some more time, and I promise I'll plan the best trip ever for you.
All right, fine. To be perfectly honest, it's not that I wanted to go, it's more like... I feel like something is off about you lately. Ever since you first set foot on the estate a few days ago, you've been acting anxious and even paranoid. Have you been delaying our trip because you've run into some kind
Oh,
of
also
trouble?
next weekend. Probably Friday night.
Are you kidding?
I'll be doing my, Star Rail
Should
2.1
swear on
stream.
that? Friends shouldn't lie to each other, you know. I wouldn't pry any further if you're willing to swear on what you just said. But if something really is bothering you, then just tell me. You know I'll help you however I can.
Oh, looks like Dunyarzad was onto something.
You're too perceptive, my lady. Seems I can't hide anything from you. I just thought that nothing good could come out of telling you about the messy happenings of mercenaries. Knowing too much only leads to more trouble. Mercenary life is a dog-eat-dog world where Mora reigns supreme. Everything operates on a completely different set of rules.
That doesn't change anything about what I just said, though. We're still friends, and I can only support you if I understand what's bothering you.
Yeah,
My lady,
I mean, I already was curious,
you're
obviously,
not gonna
but
stop until you drag it out of me, are ya? All right, I'll share what I know. Let's go somewhere else first. This isn't exactly the best place for a discussion.
it's down a little bit more.
Okay, let's talk here. Just try not to draw any extra attention.
I'm like trying to get
As
the
you
perfect.
may already know, the Eremites have both a lot of mercenaries and a complex organizational structure. Many mercs are no different than me, just going around looking for jobs to earn some mora. My brigade is called the Blazing Beasts. We're not a large group, but every member is loyal and brave. However, not all Eremite brigades are like mine. Some are willing to cross all kinds of lines for the sake of mora. The most notorious is a faction known as Deshret's Relics.
Deshret's relics? Judging from the name, they must really look up to...
I mean, technically both are right. I was thinking King Deshret because I actually forgot that he went by El Akmar. So, I'll go with that.
Yep, you got it. I've heard that you've already crossed paths with Ain al-Akmar. They're one of the groups under the Relic's banner.
Oh, you mean the group that tried to sell us the Divine Knowledge Capsule? Yeah, they weren't friendly at all.
Deshret's Relics is composed of many smaller brigades like Ain al-Akmar.
I want to
The
say
Relic's
I remember
headquarters
that.
issues orders to all brigades under his control. On any other day, I would want nothing to do with them. Unfortunately, though, the brigade that's stirring up trouble now is none other than Dakan al-Akmar.
Another one?
Con?
I think it means beard or something. Believe me, it's a really stupid name. I found it insufferable for years. Anyway, the real issue is that Dakan al-Akmar is led by my father,
Oh.
Kusela.
Say what now?
Oh.
I think I'm starting to understand your anxiety now. But what did they do?
I won't go into details, my lady, but they've been involved in a lot of violent incidents. We're talking hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yep. The scenes tend to be quite gruesome, too. They strip the victims of all their valuables before murdering them. Not only have they targeted merchant caravans and ordinary citizens, but other mercenary brigades as well.
Oh.
That's beyond terrible. They won't even spare their own kind.
I don't know how Deshret's relic sees it. All I do know is that Dakan al-Akmar has become more and more aggressive over the last few years. If I don't do something about them, then even my brigade or the people of Aru village could become their next target. I just wish I knew what's driven him to do this.
Yeah. How can your father do such terrible things?
I don't know. People change. He's always been pretty pathetic. But at least in the past, there were still a few lines that he wouldn't cross.
That's setting the bar pretty low.
I mean, if he was even remotely decent, then why would I have to leave the brigade and cut all ties with him? He was loud and foolish, with no real sense of purpose. Instead of doing anything useful, he spent most of his time drinking and chasing after women. Of course, the other brigade members were just like him. Their ruckus would go on night after night.
Sounds like a nightmare.
What about your mother? Did she ever step in to stop them?
Unfortunately, I never knew my mother.
I'm sorry, Dia. I didn't know.
It's all right, my lady. That's pretty common in mercenary circles. Didn't I mention that my father was chasing after women? I was the result of one of those encounters with some random person. He told me that he wasn't sure who my mother was. And in any case, she never came to see me. He'd say, "You'll be fine as long as you remember to stick with Dad." But even then, he left most of the parenting to the brigade. The one thing I do remember is that he used to tell me stories. But the problem was that he had terrible taste. He only knew a few stories, and even those tended to be pretty stale. They were tales of desert warriors defeating dragons in the forest, or stories of mercenaries rescuing princesses from rebel armies.
Sounds like your typical fairy tales.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. They were interesting maybe the first or second time around, but after about 20 repeats, they started to get a little dull. He seemed to think
Yeah.
those stories were the best things ever, though. He was so into them that he'd call the whole brigade over and make them perform the whole thing as a play. Even the toys he gave me would all be story props. I'd get helmets, shields, and toy swords. It was only much later when I realized that the shows were more for him than they ever were for me.
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he had all bad intentions.
Yeah, I've always found him pretty childish. But that was something I could just shrug off. I had no reason to despise him. Until I grew up and learned the true face of Deshret's relics for myself. Looting, blackmail, violence, and fraud. They not only accepted such heinous acts, they would even openly boast about them. No one in the brigade was any kind of hero. Instead, my father and his cronies were more like the bad guys that needed to be taken down. Did they really think that as long as they didn't do any of that stuff right in front of me, I would never know?
I think I can understand your feelings. The difference between perception and reality must have hit hard.
Yeah, but don't worry, my lady. It's all water under the bridge to me now. I had a huge argument with my father and left that place behind for good. I'm not investigating them due to any bitter feelings I still have towards my father. I just want to protect those that are close to me.
Yeah. Oh, it's a double thing. You just want to find out why they suddenly started causing so much more trouble.
Yeah. I told the boys to gather as much information as they could. Most of the reports concern violent incidents, but there's also some talk of smuggling.
I see. But isn't this investigation incredibly dangerous?
It is, but every mercenary lives life on the edge. It's a lifestyle that I enjoy.
That may be true, but it'll be impossible for those who care about you not to worry.
Well, now you get why I didn't want to share any of this with you.
What should we do? They both have valid concerns.
Yeah, I'll go back to the desert.
Huh?
I don't
There's no
want to,
need for
but
you to get caught up in this mess, too.
I really don't want to go
Well,
back.
she's
But
super tough, so if she went into the desert with you, then Paimon bets the problem will be solved in no time.
I'm inclined to agree. I'd feel a lot more at ease if you took her along to help.
I'll do my best. Oh, there we go.
I'll wait for news from you in the city until then. Please, stay safe.
I'm honored that you care so much for me, my lady. All right, then let's get moving. Our first stop will be Caravan Rebot, where we can catch up a bit with my fellow mercs.
Iron's blood. Boop. Boop. Flashbang, oh my god. Also, I just want to let you guys know, before it happens, sometimes my lights like to go off and then like instantly kind of like quickly fade back on. It's weird, but it does that every now and then, so if that happens, just
Hey, Dia, you're back.
not really something I can
Are
control.
these two friends of yours?
Imagine asking, like, you see someone you know with someone, you're like, oh, is this your friend? And then they're like, I trust this person with my life.
Oh, so you've already become like one of us then? Well, that's good to know. Anyway, since we've got newcomers, let me fill you in on what Dakan
That'd be
Al-Ahmar
fine.
has been up to lately. They've become extremely aggressive. Apparently, even their own now have become acceptable targets. They even attack other relics brigades, just the same as any other mercenary brigade.
Even the most ferocious beasts still protect their own. And it sounds like they've thrown that straight to the wind.
That's right. Once they've collected enough loot off the other mercenaries, they sell it off to a different brigade, or turn to merchants on the black market. A portion of their profits is immediately exchanged for more food and weaponry to be used in their next violent operation.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder why they're so desperate for Mora. A few days ago, Isham and I trailed them for a while, and even disguised ourselves as merchants to conduct trade with them. We were able to learn a few things from the exchange. Rather than saying they're out to plunder and hoard Mora, it'd probably be more accurate to say that they're experiencing an internal power struggle.
Oh,
Wait, a power struggle?
You heard me right. The vast majority of their victims are mercenaries from the other brigades of Deshret's relics. If their only goal was Mora, they could have gone after anybody. The targeted nature of their attacks points to a power struggle between the different brigades within the relics. That's the only plausible explanation we have. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find out anything more specific. It seems they're also trying to keep things under wraps. Oh, one last thing we discovered was that over the past few years, as Dakan Al-Ahmar became more and more active, Deshret's relics as a whole became a lot weaker.
They were able to cause so much damage?
It sounds mighty strange to me, too. Haroon, you can leave the rest of the investigation to us. Gotta say, though, I didn't expect you to go on a whole undercover mission during the few days I was gone. Sounds like you were really putting your necks on the line, no?
Nah, it was nothing. We're just as concerned about the situation as you are. The Khan al-Ahmar is your father's crew, after all.
What he said. Besides, Dia, haven't you done more dangerous things than all of us combined? What we did is nothing compared to your experiences.
Yeah. And while they went to talk with Dakan al-Akmar, I took a look at
I
the
like how
last
they
camp
had them
attacked.
off camera,
Any survivors of the
question
attack were
marks
already long
on their name and
gone.
everything,
There was
and I
nothing of
knew,
value left in the camp.
just based off the voice pretty much, that it was just gonna be some of the most normal looking NPC character.
Ah, Hisham and Khalaf. You're here, too.
We rushed over as soon as we saw you come into Caravan Rebat. Although this new friend of yours looks a little green behind the ears,
Hey.
I'm sensing a special vibe from her.
Oh, how do you
Now that
know I
we know
found a
you'll have a
god?
capable partner with you, we can also rest easy.
Hey, what about Paimon? Feel anything special?
Oh, you're also planning to tag along with them?
Of course! Paimon is the traveler's most important guide. Wherever she goes, Paimon will follow.
Oh. In that case, then you'd better take care of her too, Dia.
Don't underestimate Paimon!
Don't worry about her. She may look tiny and helpless, but she's been
But
through
she is
just
tiny
as many
and
battles
helpless.
as the traveler here. Even
Yeah,
if
but did she
had only
fight in
survived
them?
on sheer luck, then that alone would still make her quite formidable.
I had no idea. I guess I shouldn't judge by appearances.
Oh, one other thing, Dia. When you're free, why don't you update the deputy about your upcoming schedule? We held another recruitment event a few days ago, but everyone only came to see the Flame Mane. You weren't
Almost
around
dropped
at the
my
time,
high
so
shield.
people were pretty disappointed to only find our crew of rough, unkempt guys. The deputy put a lot of effort into the event, but it was basically for nothing. Only a few people chose to stay, and that really got to him.
Sorry to hear that. I'll be sure to bring him some great liquor next time. I left in a hurry and I couldn't make it back in time for the event.
Gotta admit, I can understand their disappointment, though. You're our brigade's main selling point, after all. Now, if only the deputy could figure out a way to bring a few more smoking hot members into our ranks.
Keep dreaming. Remember the last time I invited a couple gals into the brigade? You all just froze up with your mouths gaping like a bunch of scarecrows. The awkward silence and weird expressions left quite the impression on them. They were originally interested in joining us, but after that, they both told me they were too uncomfortable to stick around.
Hey, didn't we agree to never bring that up again?
Huh? Wait, are you serious? Why have I never heard about this?
I don't think you were part of the brigade yet.
Are you kidding me? I missed a once-in-a-lifetime moment like that, and you weren't even gonna tell me?
All right. We can tell you about it later. Now's not the time.
Hey, don't you try to change the subject. You and Hisham get your butts over here and tell me everything right now.
Are they always like this?
More or less. There aren't many rules or graces when it comes to mercenaries. We're used to just speaking our minds. If someone starts getting under your skin, you just yell right back at them. And if that doesn't put an end to it, then you just challenge them to a fight.
Means face.
Also, don't tend to take many things too
Oh.
seriously. Being direct and getting it all out of your system
Oh,
as soon as
this is
things
so
come up
dope.
is better than keeping everything bottled up, never talking about it. That's also why I never spare their feelings when I talk to
I've been
them.
watching them
If I
run
want to
back and
laugh,
forth.
I'll laugh. If I'm angry, then I'll unload on them. It's hard to stop once you get used to it. Though, I can never do that when I'm with the Homayanis. Hey, knuckleheads! Can you at least tell me the rest of the intel before you go back to your bickering?
Yeah, you hear her, Holloff? Told you we gotta focus on the investigation first. I drew up a map. Right here is the spot. There you'll find the merchant caravan responsible for getting rid of Dakan al-Ahmar's looted goods. All you gotta do is wait and ambush them in the evening. They'll have no idea what hit them.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Be sure to pass my regards to everyone else in the brigade as well.
Will do. You stay safe, Dia.
I want to hear this.
Now, like I said, the two ladies Dia brought with her were also like super mercs. I'm talking same level as Flame Main here. Oh, you should have seen it. The aura of the two of them when they were standing together, it was incredible. I was just at a loss for words, that's all.
That's all.
So pathetic.
Hey! Shut up!
Let's see what this guy's really thinking.
I've been waiting for you for...
Come on. You can only trash us like this because you weren't there.
Admit it, you would have just frozen up like everyone else if you were there.
I see everything.
How could I have missed a moment like that?
Oh, I love you seeing the heater for this stuff.
All right, let's.
Watch over the trade route and wait for your button. Okay. Back in the rainforest. Take these. I've been pre-farming for Arlecchino also.
This should be the place.
When
Let's
this
find a
dialogue
spot
is
to
done, I'll
hide
show
and
you
bide
what
our
I got so
time.
far.
It's gonna come down to a fight one way or another, so let's all be careful.
No need to worry. She knows her way around a fight.
I'm not worried about that. What I meant is that we probably shouldn't go too hard on the enemy. After all, we still need to get information out of them. Ah, here they come.
Oh,
You
I
ready?
thought they just weren't
Let's
gonna show
not
up
give them a
because
chance to
they knew we
react
were here or
and end
something.
this quickly.
Oh, we're ending it quickly? Do not configure party. Oh, come on. Okay, I was gonna change my party, but. Oh, we got trial, yeah. Beacon of the Red. Reed Sea, I said Red Sea. No bless. For some reason. Oh, C3. It's better than mine. Way better than mine. Let's see how much she can do.
That's close enough!
Not you, Huto. I meant to put on Zhongli. Ooh, okay. Not bad. I'm missing all my attacks for some reason. Oh my god. Rip these guys up.
Solidify.
Boom.
I'll be back.
You're the Flame Main.
That's right.
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right, time for a little talk. Are you buddies with Dakana Lakmar now? Tell me, what are they after?
You know the code of being a mercenary just like everyone else. The first rule is to never divulge key information about our employer. What makes you think I'd talk?
That might have worked on an amateur, but I know you're just looking to protect your reputation. Think about it, though. What's your reputation worth if you won't have the other tools you need to succeed in this line of work? Tools like, I don't know, your limbs or eyes? You've got 5 seconds. You might want to think twice about how much your employer's information is worth to you.
Whoa!
It's alright, Paimon. She knows what she's doing.
I'm not joking around. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds!
I'll save you the trouble.
Huh? Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue.
Oh.
Quick, search the area for any first aid supplies.
Dale's emergency treatment, the bleeding in his mouth is far under control.
Definitely didn't expect him to go that far. Thankfully, the wound wasn't too deep, and he just passed out from the pain.
But why would he be so extreme?
I just wanted to test his mettle. You can get a lot of mercenaries to talk just by threatening them. I didn't expect him to be willing to go through so much pain just to deny us some intel.
Well, he's out cold for now.
That means there's something big's going
We
on.
could wait for him to wake up, but maybe it's not a good idea to interrogate him any further. What should we do?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be a waste of time to interrogate him again after that. He might just hurt himself again if we start asking. There are lots of goods around here. Let's search the area. Maybe we'll be able to find something. I'm really sorry.
I'm gonna put on my Where you are? This team. There are a lot of daily necessities like food and water in the boxes. It doesn't seem like there's anything noteworthy. Oh, here we go. It's the backpack.
We found a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it. Maybe it's a record of something.
Let me take a look. If this really is a merchant caravan, they should have a record of their transactions. Yep. I see an entry for Dakana Lakmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti. All familiar names. Dakana Lakmar has been trading for a hefty supply of food, weapons, and medicine. It seems that in the past, they used to receive some canned knowledge as well. This caravan is just one link in their logistics chain. Once in the rainforest, the caravan will exchange the looted goods for Mora, and the funds will then be passed to a specific person. That person will then pack the caravan full of necessary goods, which will then be brought right back to Dakana Lakmar. Wait, why is there no Mora value recorded for the final transaction?
No value?
They're not trading
Yeah.
Mora.
Every transaction before the last one was marked with an exact amount of Mora, but the final one, where they paid for everything to be brought back to the desert, was simply marked as delivered.
Maybe the Mora amounts just happened to cancel each other out.
Perhaps. But they couldn't have known how much they would make off selling the loot. Do they not care about profit margins at all? Anyway, the next part's the records of the goods themselves. There are a lot of entries. Everything was probably sourced from the rainforest. Huh?
What's wrong?
Shazamon Homayani?
Homoyani?
Huh?
You mean Dunyarzad's family? Could it just be another family with the same last name?
I'd be surprised to find someone with the exact same first and last name. Shazamon Homayani is Dunyarzad's father, and the head of the Homayani family. Just what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, let's analyze the situation first.
I'm sorry, you're right. I'll consider what we found and not jump to conclusions just yet. But what this piece of paper confirms is that the Homayani family has been providing goods to Dakana Lakmar.
What if the Homayanis have been kept in the dark and don't know they've been trading with Dakana Akhmar?
That's a possibility, but if that was the case, why is this caravan specifically named Shazamon as their person of contact? They could have just as easily bought goods such as food and medicine directly from Caravan Rebot or Port Ormos.
If Shazma, however you say his name, was actually aware of this, that perhaps he's been supplying the brigade's operations this whole entire time.
Yeah, funding violence and looting. The brigade gets the goods, and he is paid the proceeds from the sale of the loot.
But why would he do something like this? It's not like the Homayanis are in need of money.
I honestly have no idea. I've been to their estate many times, and I've never noticed anything suspicious. The only potentially large expenditure I could think of would be the treatment costs for Dunyarzad's Elazar. Maybe they borrowed a lot of Mora in the past? But that's still just a speculation. I don't think the Master would stoop so low to make Mora.
I don't think Junior Zard knows anything about this either.
You're probably right. I know my lady's personality, and she wouldn't deliberately keep something like this from us.
But what should we do now? All we found is just another mystery.
If we want to get to the bottom of this, we won't be able to turn back.
If you ask me, we already have no choice but to confront her about this. I'm not worried. It's too early to make a verdict yet. I still have faith in the Homayanis. Let's go find my lady again. We'll tell her everything and see if she's willing to lend us her support. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the mystery of this paper, but also follow the trail of breadcrumbs to the people responsible at Dakan al-Akmar.
Dia, are you sure this is the best decision? What if instead of getting the help we need, we just end up revealing everything we've discovered to the enemy?
I've considered that possibility. But even still, I want to tell her what we found. I think I owe her that much. True friendship is built on trust. She showed genuine concern for me when we first brought up the topic. I can't repay her kindness with doubt and suspicion. That's not how I deal with people.
You're right. Paimon wants to trust Dunyarzad too.
I hope we'll be of help to her.
Yeah. Let's pay another visit to Sumeru City.
Alright, let's go back. Guess who's back? Back again.
We're back, my lady.
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than I expected. You mustn't have run into any trouble then. Well, how did it go? What did you come up with?
Actually, we're still investigating. It's just that we've discovered something strange.
I see. The clues you found have led you back here, in the city?
Something like that. Yeah.
You all look a little dispirited. Whatever you found must not have been very encouraging after all. Why don't you discuss it with me? Maybe I'll be able to say something to cheer you up?
It's okay, my lady. It's not so much about me being upset with my father or anything like that. How should I put this?
So something is wrong. Even the Traveler and Paimon have been uncharacteristically quiet.
Hey, my character's
On
always
any
funny.
other day, Paimon would have already waved to me with a smile and shouted, Dunyarzad, we're back!
That is true.
So tell me, what happened?
Well?
My lady, please prepare yourself for what we're going to tell you next. It concerns the Master.
The Master? You mean my father? Okay, I understand. Don't worry about me. I'll listen as attentively as I can.
Black screen of text, knew it. It manages to explain the results of the investigation.
My father has been supplying goods to Dakan al-Akmar?
Yeah, it makes as little sense to us as it does to you. I've never doubted the Master's integrity, so I'm having a real hard time rationalizing how he could ever support an infamous brigade like them. Maybe he's not actually aware of the full story and just stumbled into the deal by accident.
That feels unlikely, though.
I can't help but agree with the Traveler.
Huh? You mean you feel the same way, Dunyarzad?
Thank you for sharing all this information with me. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubts that I've been harboring for quite a while. In the past, I thought that my father hired a bodyguard for me so that I wouldn't run away and get lost. However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30. Why did my father go out of his way to hire Dia?
About that. Well, the Homiyanis really needed bodyguards, so they reached out to the Blazing Beasts. Later, the Master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen, and that I should stick around to become one of his bodyguards. He offered me a pile of Mora, so I just signed on.
Well, but that didn't really answer my question. Just think about it. Why did my father specifically reach out to the Blazing Beasts?
Maybe the Corps of 30 just didn't have anyone available, or maybe someone recommended us. I've never given it too much thought. I think I get what you're saying. You'd think none of this was a coincidence.
Precisely. At first glance, nothing seems strange or out of place. But there are many parts of the story that don't actually make any sense. If my father had always been in contact with the Khan al-Akmar, then it would make sense for him to bring Dia into our house.
You mean the goal all along was to get Dia to be your bodyguard?
No, that's too much of a stretch. I cut all ties with my father a long time ago. He has no control over my life anymore.
But that still doesn't rule out the possibility that your father has still been trying to influence your life without you knowing.
Yeah, that's true.
So, the Master was not likely an innocent victim in all of this?
That's what things are looking like at this point.
Sorry we put all of this on you so suddenly, Junior Zod.
It's okay, Paimon. I should actually be thanking you. Regardless of his reasons, if my father has truly been funding a violent group of mercenaries, then it's my duty to bring him back to reason.
But is that really the right thing to do? My father has committed many atrocities and deserves all the punishment that he has coming to him. I have zero sympathy for him. You may call me an ungrateful child, but my feelings will remain the same. However, the Homiyani family has treated me with nothing but generosity and kindness. If we decide to investigate this further, we could end up implicating the entire Homiyani family. I would be biting the hand that's fed me over all these years.
Dia.
It's all right, Dia. If anyone were to ask, you could always just say that I'm the one who instructed you to get to the bottom of this.
You don't have to do that, my lady. I'm not conflicted because I'm afraid of taking responsibility. Besides, you're the one we should all be worried about right now.
Hey, it's still too early to give up hope. What was that thing about friendship again?
True friendship is built on trust. Boom.
Right, yeah, trust! You said that yourself, Dia. Besides, there's no point on getting all riled up before we've confirmed all the facts.
If your trust hasn't been misplaced, then he probably has many conflicting feelings as well.
Thank you, everyone. That makes a lot of sense. I guess I should always remember the trust that I've placed in people. In which case, my lady, could you ask the Master to come out and have a chat with us?
Sure thing. I also hope he'll be able to give us a logical explanation. Let's meet at the usual place then.
Usual place? Ah, right.
Is that one place that we would always meet her at? Oh no, this is like that tavern, right?
Thank you for
Oh
coming,
no, it is
sir.
that place. Yeah.
Please allow me to introduce these two. This is the Traveler, and next to her is her travel companion, Paimon.
I do news already dad.
Yes, my daughter has mentioned them from time to time. It's a privilege to finally meet them in person. But we may skip all the pleasantries for now. What is the important matter you wish to discuss with me today?
Well, we wanted to bring this transaction record to your attention. There's something on this record that we're all pretty curious about.
Dia explains the issue to him and admits her doubts.
So, that's what you found. Huh. Seems like I can't keep everything from you much longer.
If you wouldn't mind, we'd like an explanation.
Well, it's a long and
Oh, I thought that girl was
difficult
about to walk
story.
up to him.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. What I do know, though, Dia, is that the truth will bring you no solace. If anything, It will likely cause you a great amount of anguish.
Wait,
Oh.
me?
Yes, I understand perfectly why you came to see me. And I am touched by your collective commitment to do the right thing. But knowledge always comes at a price. And sometimes, as they say, ignorance is bliss. Your father, Kusela, and I both believed that. Of course, you have the right to seek and learn the truth, but I must warn you. The facts of this matter may reduce everything you've built for yourself into sand, blowing in the wind. If you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt efforts will also fade into the wind like a fleeting mirage.
His heartfelt efforts? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not sure I follow. I've made it this far in life without a single drop of my father's support. I have my own ideals and ways of looking at the world, as well as people and causes that I've chosen to cherish and fight for. None of these things have anything to do with him. I came here today to support you as the head of the Homiyani family. No warning will change my stance on that.
I understand. Then let me tell you a little story.
Oh,
Our
serious.
family once needed to take a trip to the desert when Dunyarzad was just a baby. Along the way, we were attacked by bandits. They had superior numbers and quickly overpowered our bodyguards. When all seemed lost, a group of passerby Eremites lent us their support. Those Eremites were Kusela's brigade, Dekan al-Ahmar. Kusela's men told me that the attackers were Eremite mercenaries, just like themselves. I was shocked. Why would Dekan al-Ahmar go so far to save us and not spare the fellow Eremites? Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with baby Dunyarzad. She was startled by his unfamiliar face and nearly started crying.
Really? I never knew.
He said that he had no particular reason to help us. He just took pity on us because he had a daughter about the same age. We started talking about our children, and I sensed that he was a devoted father. To repay his kindness, I hired his brigade to help out at our estate for a time, and offered everyone generous remuneration.
So, that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. I almost didn't recognize him the next time he came knocking on my door. The man I knew to be strong and healthy had been reduced to a shell of himself. He couldn't even walk anymore without his cane.
So, what happened to him? He was perfectly fine when I left the brigade.
I'm not too sure myself. The only thing that didn't change was his cheery disposition. He said there was absolutely nothing to worry about and that he had gotten into a fight. That was all. He then suddenly asked me if Dunyarzad, now that she had grown, would need a bodyguard of her own. At the time, Dunyarzad was going through a particularly severe bout of her Elazar. There was no need for her to have a bodyguard when she could barely leave the house. But he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, it never hurts to be safe. How do you know a bodyguard won't come in handy one day? I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the
Even for
Blazing
Elazar, I was
Beasts,
genuinely
and in
concerned that she
particular,
was gonna die.
a mercenary named Dia.
So he was the one who recommended Dia to you.
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud, but it was clear that he saw Deshret's relics as an evil group who would eventually corrupt every member in their ranks. He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the vicious world of mercenary life. If Dia could stay in my house and keep working as a bodyguard, then gradually her affinity for the desert would decrease, and she'd be able to leave her previous life behind.
And that's why you offered her such generous compensation?
Yes, but not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for that favor, I also began to see Dia as my own daughter. And that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you asked for permission to leave. I was willing to spend however much it took. Kusela saved my daughter and me all those years ago in the desert. I could never refuse him entrusting his daughter to me.
He was always like that, acting like he's oh so smart and self-righteous.
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's fees. I refused to take any mora from him, but he'd always send me funds anyway. Eventually, I just accepted them as a token of his gratitude. And that went on for a while until I received another letter from him a few years ago. The letter contained a request to help him buy food, weapons, medicine, and even explosive materials.
Wait! Isn't that around the time that Decano Akhmar started becoming more aggressive?
That's right. When I started to hear some nasty rumors, I became wary. I wanted to meet him face to face to discuss things. But by then, he was no longer receptive to my requests to talk. If I had to guess, it's probably because he doesn't want to put Dia at risk.
By that same token, he should have also stopped asking you for materials.
That thought occurred to me as well. I figured that he probably came to me for help because he had nobody else to turn to.
It's confusing.
After some deliberation, I decided to send him some food and medicine. I turned down all his requests for explosives and weaponry. I am aware that even such a reduced gesture of support could lead to others coming to harm, but I could not simply reject his plea for help. In the end, it probably was the wrong decision. I plugged my ears to the rumors and just chose a solution that made me feel least guilty about myself.
If you can, please tell me where he is now. None of the things he's doing right now make any sense if he's just trying to keep me from getting tangled up in his world. If all he wants to do is steer clear of me, then maybe he shouldn't have brought me into this world in the first place.
Oh no. Dia, please don't feel that way.
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around any of his actions.
Maybe there's another way of looking at all of this.
Another way? I don't know. I knew him, and he was nothing more than a childish brute. I can't understand what's going through his head. But I guess you do have a point. We haven't uncovered the whole truth yet. We still need to figure out his exact actions and reasoning for these last few years.
I'll do my best to help. Of course, anything between the two of you would need to be resolved between you and him alone. I don't know Kusela's exact whereabouts. Outside of supplying his brigade with some goods, I tried my best to avoid getting involved any further with him. However, there's a man on the list named Jawed. He used to be a mercenary in the desert and is now a member of the Corps of 30. He's responsible for supplying weapons and liaising with the Deccan al-Akhmar's merchant caravan. I think he should know Kusela's whereabouts. I've heard that he likes to have a few drinks alone and enjoy the cool wind at night outside the tavern. Maybe you'll be able to find him there.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
We're right next to the
Then,
tavern anyways.
I guess this is bye for now, unless...
I'll stay and be with my father here. To be honest, I'm still a little dazed and haven't finished processing everything quite yet. My father has indeed done something wrong, but if I think about it, I'm also not sure if there was a right way to handle this problem. I feel like our only course of action is to turn everything we know over to the Corps of 30 and let them render judgment.
Yes. I am prepared to accept whatever verdict they choose. It's time to face my mistakes.
So, first we got set tonight. He's outside the tavern. Oh, there he is.
Huh? Who are you guys?
I'm here to
I
rob
know
you.
what you've been up to. Smuggling weapons to violent brigades in the desert while working for the Corps? Pretty bold, if you ask me.
Shh. Keep your voice down. How do you know all that? Come with me. We should
Mustache.
take this elsewhere. I'll be happy to talk things over once we're somewhere private.
Oh. Excellent. Hell of a shard of that sunflower
This
seed.
place should do. Alright, back to my question. How did you all know about me?
I stalked you.
Don't worry about that for now. You know what kind of punishment you'll face once we report you to the Corps, I assume.
Wait, there's no need to jump the gun. Let's talk this out. What are your terms?
Oh, terms.
So what's in it for you anyway, Mora?
Well, I was a little tight on money at the time, and Kusela took good care of me in the past. I weighed it in my mind, and I couldn't find a reason to turn the opportunity
This is another
down.
person that
I wouldn't only be
he
helping my
helped out.
benefactor,
I
but I
was
could
like
also
trying to
make
pay
some
him
quick
back.
Mora.
Let me tell you how it is. We're investigating Khan al-Akmar, and we're gonna put an end to their operations. If you provide some help for us, then we might just put in a good word later to reduce the terms of your punishment.
Hey, why don't we discuss this a little first? Listen, I made quite a bit of Mora from my last run. You just give me a number, and I'm sure we can...
Shut it. My patience is running out. You should know when a mercenary is after
I love
something
this
other
character.
than money.
All right, sheesh. But you gotta promise you'll put in some nice words for me later. They're always on the move. Here's the spot they were at the last time I made my delivery to the desert. Feel free to go have a look. I'm just telling you though, it's not on me if they're not there anymore.
Sure. And then you can forget about any nice words from us.
Hey, come on. Now you're just being unreasonable.
Really? And how do I know you're not leading us straight into a trap? Don't forget, you're the one with no bargaining chips.
All right, I get it. Why don't you go take a look, and if they're not there anymore, I'll try to figure out something else for y'all.
Now that's more like it. Let's move. And as for you, try to stick around the city until we get back. You don't want us to call the folks from the Corps and have them drag you back to the city.
Up to Susan. Who was Susan? I'm gonna get late.
The desert's a tough...
Must be like a new class or something, because I just don't remember that.
Stay close. No going off on your own. The desert doesn't take prisoners.
Nope.
Seems like we're in luck. That should be their camp right up ahead. Let's go. We'll finally get to the bottom of this ourselves.
Alright.
I'm here to see Kusela. Tell him to get out here.
Oh shoot.
Dear, why are you here?
Boom. 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 Actually, I have a good deal right now. I gotta use it.
Haven't you all done enough?
Oh, so are you also here to stop us?
I actually missed those guys, so it's fine.
Grow.
Come on.
Hey.
It's level 92. For a fight.
She's so strong.
Enough
Right on.
fighting. We all know each other, and I don't want to take things too far. Just
Oh,
bring
yeah, I
Kusela
guess
to me.
so.
There's no use hiding him anymore. Did you understand a single word I just said? Or do I need to bash your
Let me
skull
get
in
these
some more?
daggers something.
All right, everyone, let's all just calm down for a second. Dia, the boss can't come out and see you anymore. He died a long time ago.
What?
Seems like you've been out of the loop for a while. Guess that's for the best, though. At least, that's what the old man wanted.
When did he die? What happened to him?
A few years ago, Kusela broke up Dakan al-Ahmar and went to the Deshret's relics headquarters by himself.
So is that when you guys started acting up?
We would prefer to call it taking revenge. Every last person in Deshret's relics must pay in blood for what they did.
So that's why they all turned on each other. It was all motivated by revenge.
Let me start from the beginning.
It's adding up.
Dia, do you know how the head of the relics maintained order internally?
Overwhelming strength and unquestionable authority?
Those were a part of it, yes. But just those on their own weren't enough. They had another tool at their disposal. They called it a person's record. Regardless of whether they joined by their own will or were coerced, every person in Deshret's relics were forced to leave a record of themselves at headquarters. Whether it be their deepest sin, some unforgivable act, or their most immoral exploit, the record served both as a symbol of loyalty and the perfect material for blackmail.
So you mean Kusela thought there was no escaping the records?
That's precisely it. Every one of us have a record. Me, Bashar, Tikriti, and all the boys who grew up with Dia and ended up joining our ranks. But you, Dia, you were never asked to provide a record, were you?
I never even knew this was a requirement.
You were probably the only person in all of Deshret's relics who didn't know about it.
Ever since you were born, Boss had been trying to shield you from this organization's sinister rules. Not only that, but he also banned all of us from committing any nefarious acts. He said he'd take care of the dues we had to pay regularly to headquarters. But in the end, he was just an ordinary person. What could he do? He was forced to go to headquarters again and again to account for missed dues and incomplete records. He'd come up with all kinds of excuses and get beaten up as a result.
We all knew he was doing that for you. He wanted to get you out of this world, no matter what it took.
And that's why he became a shell of himself and couldn't walk without a cane.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. I didn't know about any of this, and I'd never seen him get injured or beaten.
Because you were too young at the time. How would you ever tell between wounds from a beating and wounds from battle? When you left home after that final argument with him, he seemed to age by a decade overnight. Even his hair went gray.
So, even the blazing beasts were...
Yep. It was all his doing. Had he not arranged them to come to you, you probably would have been reduced to a pulp before you ever left the desert.
A few years ago, Boss said he needed to make another trip to headquarters. He was already pretty weak then, and we all assumed he was going to get beaten again. I suggested that he hand the role of leadership over to me, but he said there was no longer any need, since the Khan al-Ahmar would soon be no more. His words made no sense to me, but that night, we heard that a massive fire tore through headquarters and razed everyone's records to ash.
Everyone gained their freedom that night. Many members fled, not just from our ranks, but from the other brigades as well. But how could we leave with a clear conscience? All of us who knew exactly what had happened.
The boss can't have just died for nothing. Those heartless jerks at headquarters took him from us.
I say we
From that
attack.
point on, the sole purpose of Dakan al-Ahmar became revenge. The big fire that Boss started was quite a blow to headquarters' strength. It's given us the opportunity to launch our attack. Even though we're outnumbered, we vowed to see our revenge through to the very end.
Deshret's relics haven't been the only victims of your revenge.
There were people from headquarters who changed their names and went into hiding. Some fled to other brigades, and others escaped to the rainforest. But we won't let any of them escape our wrath. They'll all pay for what they've done.
We've suffered plenty of losses as well. To keep going, we need an enormous amount of supplies, from food and medicine to weaponry and explosives. All we can do is exchange our loot from Mora,
and then used that to get supplies. We forged Boss's handwriting and sent out many letters to his former friends. Thankfully, many people were willing to come to our aid. We were also able to attract many mercenaries who shared our goal. We've endured unspeakable pain to win many impossible battles. Deshret's relics have become weaker and weaker, and now we finally have an opportunity to directly strike their headquarters.
Paimon doesn't know what to say anymore.
Until you fight. Okay, none of those are what I'm saying, but do you have any idea the amount of damage you've done?
We do know right from wrong, but we were sinners from the very beginning. We do not deserve the freedom that the boss won for us with his life. Boss always loved his old-fashioned hero stories. Those tales about sacrificing yourself to save the world. We used to always laugh at him for it, but in the end, he really went and lived those stories out himself. As for me, I never considered myself a hero. We're all the lowest of the low. We have no right to even imagine such an existence. But maybe those hero stories he liked foreshadowed everything that was to come. The spirit of the hero touched all those he had saved, and more people joined his cause. Maybe we were all just acting along with the play in the beginning. But as we acted the parts and recited the lines, we were drawn in. And now, we want to see the story through to the end. I'm sorry, Dia. I know you always found us insufferable ever since you were young. Just think of this as a madman ranting.
I'll go with you.
Huh? Dia? You wanna go with them?
I grew up with these guys, and I know they're not bad people. It's just that some situations get so bad that it's difficult to tell good from evil. All I know is that Deshret's relics must be destroyed. Furthermore, I want to go see the place for myself. I want to know if my father is still there. I know you don't want to get involved in this, so there's no need for you to tag along. I can do this on my own.
I did make a promise.
Yeah.
That's true.
Paimon feels like we'd only regret it if we don't see this through to the end.
Thank you. We'll be a lot stronger together with you.
That's right, you will.
I bet Boss would lose his mind if he ever knew you'd join us at the very last moment like this.
Considering all the losses and injuries we sustained, we can't afford to turn down someone as powerful as you.
He can think whatever he wants. But the fact is, I owe him this much.
Okay, we're going. I need places over here. We'll be up. Thank God this is here. It would have been torture otherwise.
Is this the entrance? We sure didn't run into much trouble on the way here.
Should be. I don't think they have enough manpower left to post guards and defend their perimeters.
Oh, here we go. And I got all the recommended elements.
Wow. Paimon didn't expect it to look like this on the inside.
They should all be holed up in here. Don't know how many people they've got left, though.
Who cares? We'll round up all of them.
Still, we should be careful. Even if they've only got one shot left, it could still take us out.
I thought there were many situations like this before.
Yeah, we'll know what they're really capable of once we've landed some hits on them. Deshret's relics may have been a force to be reckoned with before, but their name means nothing now.
Yeah, They don't stand a chance with you here. I'll take the lead. I've been here once before.
Sunflower seeds. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's trial day. I didn't notice that. Oh, they're fighting.
Everyone hold hands by royal decree.
Boom. Go. Boom. Get him. You guys got this. Go. Go. Go.
I'll be back. A new punching bag.
I see everything. Oh, it's revealed.
Take that!
Boom. Boom.
Need
Okay, use the ultimate on these guys. Oh, there we go. Now we got more.
Come on, coward.
Yeah, why not? We'll see how this goes. Just for this, I don't even have to touch anything. Boop.
Let's get it on. Ha! By royal decree. Everyone hold hands.
This way, follow me. We're almost there.
Big Okie.
Wait! They went charging ahead without checking for any traps.
Hey, you guys okay?
Uh-oh.
It seems like we just got trapped in here. Don't think we triggered anything else.
Watch out, the enemy's coming from ahead.
Oh.
Well, now that things have come to this, seems we'll have to fight our way through.
Don't worry about us.
They're
We
all
knew
gonna
something like
die.
this could happen. Go and take a look around. There could still be another way through. Let's go! We can't let the boss down!
Let's check if there's another way. The sooner we can make it through to help them, the
I
better.
see a little purple thingy back there. That's probably it.
Let's see.
The purple
I
thing.
think I see a way through over there.
Yep.
But it's being blocked by something. Let's try our luck with that mechanism.
Okay, let's go.
Come on. Change color. Adjust the height and change the color. Just need to be. Oh, there we go. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Hey! Oh, it's revealed.
Another mechanism like the one before. But this one's being blocked off in the middle.
We just need to adjust it a little.
Okay. Oh. I need to lower this. So smart.
Everyone hold hands. By royal decree. Look alive. Ha!
Gather!
Ja. Huh. Ja. Ja. Ha. Ha. Ja. Ha. 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 Ha.
There we go. We gotta be almost there.
Stabilize.
Hey! Oh, it's repeat. Buckle up. Gloves off. Everyone hold hands.
Oh, this has to be it. There's that. Nope, no, it was there. Change color. And change color. I'll change the color of this one again. There we go. It's too easy. Where are we now, though? See a precious
I wasn't
chest.
expecting anyone to make it
Oh,
through
the
from
leader.
the other side. But as a desert dweller, I suppose we should be used to our folks defying all expectations.
Don't waste your breath. You have nowhere to run.
Run. Had I wanted to run, I would have fled 1,000 times already. I witnessed the golden age of Deshret's relics. Even if I could leave this place behind, all that awaits me now are endless days of humiliation and ruin. Even now, my brothers and I still believe in one thing. The greatest should never live to remember their fall.
So you want to go out in a blaze of glory.
Let us draw our weapons! We will show them the true power King Deshret bestowed upon his followers. They are but two, while we hold within ourselves the entirety of the relic's glory. Wave one, charge! Eliminate them!
Yep, hold on, let me just finish this. Alright, bring it on.
Gather!
By royal decree.
Oh look, it's got like a little thing at the top too.
Don't think that you've won. We're just getting started.
You didn't hit that guy.
How heartless.
Now you're testing my patience.
Odds revealed by
King Deshret will not abandon any one of his followers.
Interesting, Fräulein.
Stabilize! Brothers! This is where we'll prove our faith.
Domain expansion.
Do you all just want to die?
None of us plan to leave this place alive!
Goodbye. But we'll meet again.
What do we need again? Oh, ow.
Odds reveal thyself by royal decree.
Slumber.
Talk today about how to respond.
The commander has finally fallen.
But they're still coming at us. This place is like a gladiator's ring. They just keep coming no matter how many we beat.
Yes, keep fighting! There's no need to fear, and no need to back down! This is our last stand!
When the next wave comes, try to draw away their attacks. I'm going to see if I can take out that high platform.
Oh. Is everyone else here? Or one?
Get out
Oh,
of my
no,
way!
here they come.
Come and face me, Michel! Ugh, so they've broken through the front as well.
Apologies, Lord Michal. They fight like absolute madmen. No matter how much we throw at them, they just keep coming for more.
So, it would seem like this is the end.
Time to pay for everything you've done, Mitchell.
You think I would give you that opportunity? I will be buried in the sand alongside all the rest of our fading glory.
Oh, is he gonna?
Hey, wait!
This whole place is about to collapse. Get out, go.
We were too late.
It's over. There's no more need to fight. But if you're still going to cling on to
Oh,
your so-called
no,
mercenary's
God.
pride,
Okay, never mind.
then I'll give you all a good
The
beating
way he
as
worded
well.
that made it seem like he was gonna, like, make this whole place just collapse on us.
Hey, dear! I found the mechanism. I'll get you all back up here right away.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
not before I get that chest. No, wait, no. Come back. Oop, oop. Now we go.
Who are you filthy rats? And why are you always pestering us?
You call yourself a member of the infamous Deshret's relics, and you still can't even tell who's made it all the way to your headquarters?
Who knows what intent a bunch of rats may have? We try to catch a couple, and you all just show up on the other side instead. How are we supposed to figure out what you're after? Hey, have you ever heard of a man by the name of Kusela? Why would I know? It's not like I'm in charge or anything.
This is your last chance to talk.
Hey, I said I don't know anything. I'm just an average member here. I'm telling the truth. If you're here to find someone, why don't you look through the records yourselves? Who can remember every name and face with so many people coming in and out every day?
The irony. His life became a light for so many, yet to others, it wasn't even worth remembering. Where's the records room? Answer me!
It's right over there. All the files are in there. You can go through them as much as you want. It's not like any of them still matter anyway.
I mean the old records room.
The old records room? You mean the one that got burned down?
Yep.
Kusela. Ah, yeah, I remember him now. The guy who could hardly walk. Watch your mouth. That's our boss you're talking about. He was definitely faking it. We all let our guard down as soon as we saw him come hobbling in. But in the short time it supposedly took him to take a dump, he'd already gotten away and started a fire in the records room. He couldn't have possibly outrun us if he wasn't a fraud. And after that, Deshret's relics fell into complete disarray.
Stop wasting our time. Every one of us here is perfectly aware of what he had done. Tell me, where is the old records room?
It's just over there. Go see it for yourself if it means that much to you. There's nothing left in there but ashes. No human could ever survive that kind of inferno. Bashar, Tikriti, let's go. We'll leave the others here to guard these guys. Spare them no mercy if they try anything.
Okay. Let's see this burnt down place.
So, this was his final destination.
We look so out of
How did
place.
he do it? Getting past all the guards with a limp and sneaking in here to start a fire?
Yeah. We look so out of
If he
place,
was
like
nimble
our
enough to do
cloaking.
that, then he must have been able to get out of here
Everyone's
after
all
starting the
dressed
fire,
similarly, and
right?
then it's me and Paimon.
Tia.
I'm sorry. I know it's just wishful thinking. Let's look around. Maybe we can find something that's been left behind.
Everyone searches around the room. Okay.
Is this a cane? It must be the one that Dia's father used.
Kusela.
Thanks for everything, boss.
We're fortunate to somehow find that cane after that fire.
Let's split up and look around some more. What if something else has been left behind?
But what else could survive a fire like that?
This? Oh, it's a sword.
Thought so.
Wait! Isn't that the toy sword you played with as a child?
Oh.
The dragon is no more, for
Oh,
Princess
dear.
Dia has slain it. Its head now hangs above the city gates. Her bravery has brought eternal peace and prosperity to us all. Dia, come on. This is the most important line.
You can do it.
But Dia, you defeated the dragon. Everyone's waiting for your speech. Still too shy, huh? All right, I'll do it. I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more.
Yeah. Oh. Say it.
I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more, Dad.
The whole story was shared with the Core 30, which finally joined the investigation in the name of restoring order. The members of Genshin's relics were brought to justice, and members of Falcon Al Akmar turned themselves into the authorities. That's all I was able to get.
What's this?
A long Paimon stab.
Don't you remember? You asked Paimon what she would do if she were to wake up tomorrow with loads of money. And Paimon said that she would get boatloads of tasty snacks. You looked super confused at the time, but said it was an adorable thing to say. These opportunities don't come by often. So today, Paimon's
This
gonna
opportunity is
treat
quite
you
hard to
to
come
a
by.
special crash course on Paimon's life philosophy.
It's really my treat, but you get the point.
Hey, this way you get something from the both of us for the price of one.
So how that works.
Anyway, the point is that you should eat to your heart's content. You'll feel better for sure once you've gotten something in your tummy. Junior Azad will also be here shortly. She's already heard that we're back.
Aw, thanks, you two. Honestly, this is very unlike me. I just had a lot on my mind on our way back, so I didn't know what to say. My chest was filled with all kinds of intense emotions. They just shook me even more than all the feelings we've shared during our previous adventures. But when everything came to an end, those emotions also vanished without a trace, and I was left feeling more empty than ever before. It was as if I'd lost the thing that was most important to me.
Yeah, everything just happened so fast.
Yeah, you're right. To many mercenaries, Mora is the most important thing in the world. But perhaps to us, it's the most worthless thing of all. Idrisi and the others all used to say that they would quit if there was no Mora to be had. But when it came to avenging my father, there was no Mora to be made anywhere. My reality shattered when I found out that the father who always told me hero stories was in fact a bad guy. But look at me now. Am I any different? Despite all my promises about never forgiving him and never trying to understand him, I still went to such lengths to find out the truth and nearly even shed tears for his sake. We're hypocrites, all of us.
Never question your true feelings, though.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a pity that we often only recognize our true feelings after it's already too late.
You're back! Are all of you all right?
he is.
Yeah. Many people from the Corps of 30 came over, and I just wrapped up everything with my dad. All I can do now is wait for their verdict. Huh? Dia, you're looking quite down again.
Paimon will explain. A lot happened while we were gone.
I don't think Paimon should be the best face on. Once Paimon finishes telling the story, Dinosaur begins to cry
I'm
out.
sorry. I really should have controlled my emotions better. I just...
It's all right, my lady.
And I'm sorry I didn't
You
get to
were
read all
hurt
that.
by all of
Genshin
this
needs
as
to make
well.
those things last long.
Truth be told, I'm starting to feel a little guilty watching you cry like this.
But Dia, your pain must be even worse. You shouldn't need to comfort me.
Hey, don't worry about me. If anything, this whole thing has finally shown me the difference between illusion and reality. My father probably thought that people could settle into new lives as long as they moved to a new environment. That thought has even crossed my mind a few times. It's like saying, what's wrong with adapting to a new life? However, there was always something deep within my mind that refused to accept it. This impulse brought me great turmoil, and even made me feel ashamed for turning my back on your father's kindness. But now that I consider it again, it all makes sense. The desert sands are a part of who I am, and I will never be able to lead a peaceful existence.
I understand how you feel.
That doesn't mean I won't be making any changes to my life, though. As an example, I'm now thinking about taking on some small odd jobs. It's just like Idrisi said. I also want to catch up to my father and become a character in his play. Even if the ending of the story may be childish and ridiculous, it won't really matter.
Isn't that neat, though? Oh, you'll be a whole new kind of mercenary, one that's not out for Mora. Why don't we go for a change of scenery once we finish eating? What about stopping by the Grand Bazaar again?
Right. You said you wanted to get a rug for your family.
We'll come along too.
It's always more fun when everyone's together. For sure.
I can't thank you enough for taking care of me this entire time.
It's running through your head. This way. Just checking. Turn on my phone really quick. Here we go.
Oh, this rug here is quite something.
Oh
The
man,
craftsmanship is exquisite.
it's a great
And
rug.
the fabric is also of high quality.
Ah, here you are. Finally, I found you.
Hey, aren't you that mercenary who bit his tongue?
Oh.
You can still talk? Wait, are you here to take revenge on us?
What are you talking about?
His,
Do I look like I could take you all in a fight?
his voice.
I just came here to give you something. I'll be on my way to give myself up to the Corps after this. Once I woke up, I hurried to the Khan al-Ahmar's camp, hoping to alert them to your presence. But when I got there, I found no one except the members who were still too injured to move.
Ah, so you probably got there after us.
Maybe.
Yeah, they told me that they had exacted their revenge, and everyone had turned themselves in to the authorities. Even that last camp was not going to last for much longer. I had joined the cause to repay an old favor from Kusela. Now that everyone's already turned themselves in, I might as well do the same. One of the injured members gave this box to me, and told me that it contained
His
some of
voice,
the
I
old man's
can't.
last possessions. Everything left in the camp will get confiscated, so I figured I should get this to you before the Corps could get their hands on it.
Thank you.
No worries. We are all just living our own truths. There's no need to comment or judge anyone for it.
So this box contains everything that Dia's father left behind. Huh. It feels lighter than expected.
Well, back in the day, the first thing he did with any Mora was spend it on things like drinks and meat. But let's see what's inside. What's this? It's just a bunch of junk. It kinda stinks.
Perhaps it's just been left unopened for too long.
A handwritten copy of a storybook. The paper's already yellowed, and it looks like it's about to fall apart. It was against the Academia's rules to possess books for personal use. If he was going to break that rule, he could have at least copied something useful.
That probably means this was really important to him.
And here are a few bags of children's snacks. The packaging's completely deteriorated. Maybe that's where the smell was coming from.
Maybe.
Did he get those for you?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even when I was a child, I was never a fan of these kinds of snacks. He'd always say that he got them for me, but in the end, he always ate more than I ever did. Who even leaves snacks in a box like this anyway? Isn't that just common sense? Forget it. Let me see what else is in here. A razor, some buttons, some round iron tiles, a wooden toy puppet, a wool scarf, which from the looks of it probably belonged to a woman, and a hair clip? Why are these things here?
Her mom's?
I'm suddenly feeling a little scared.
I'm sorry, my lady, but this is just the kind of man he was. He probably saw this box as some kind of personal trash heap and dumped any and everything in there. 2 empty liquor bottles. Tell me, you guys, are these the kinds of things that a normal person would leave behind?
Probably not.
Huh? There's something in the bottle!
Oh, you're right. All right, I got it out. It seems to be a piece of paper with some writing on it. The bottom part's all damaged from moisture, though. Let's hope the writing didn't smudge. I was suddenly seized with an urge to write a letter after finishing this bottle. I just folded it up and left it in the bottle, though. If I end up forgetting about it, it won't really matter. To Dia. It's a letter for me?
Yeah, you don't need to read that out loud.
It's all right. I'll just read it out. If he went to the trouble of writing a letter, there must have been some important things that he wanted to say. Or at least record down.
My condition's becoming worse and worse. Can't even walk without a cane anymore, much less go out and have fun. Guess I don't have many days left. If you're reading this letter, then I suppose I'm already long gone. You were adorable as a baby. Everyone loved you. And regardless of whether you were crying or laughing, everyone enjoyed having you in the group. But once you grew a bit older, you were no longer nearly as happy or cute. It's probably the guy's fault.
Can you believe this guy? He can point the finger at himself.
Anyway, back to the point. To summarize, I'm writing this so you would know not to feel sad for me, even if you end up finding out the truth. The reason being that I was never your father to begin with.
Huh?
Wait, what?
Surely, he must be joking, right?
I don't know.
I was quite formidable when I was young, and 100 times cooler than some so-called flame main. Really felt like the whole world was under my feet. With just a teeny tiny bit of effort, I felt I could rule over the entire desert. But as fate would have it, I went out into the desert for a drink one day and discovered a baby in the sands. It was you. You were just lying there, small and helpless. You were so tiny that if the wind blew for just a little while longer, you would have been buried forever. But your cries were so loud they made my head hurt. Now that I think of it, you really were a bundle of energy.
Sounds like he's serious.
I told Idrisi and the others that I had slipped up with a woman while out and about. None of them even doubted me. I'm sorry that I had to lie to them for so long, but I really had no other choice. I was their most esteemed leader, after all. It's not like I could just tell them that I suddenly wanted to play at being a father. At this rate, I'll puke up all the liquor I just drank from this bottle. Anyway, Dia, you possess the kind of freedom and kindness that we could only dream of. As far as how you should live your life, that'll be up to you to decide.
He's gone.
That's the end of the letter. In the end, he was still thinking of me as a little child.
Isn't that also a good thing?
I suppose, or I would have suffocated under the sand a long time ago.
He was a good father to you. The fact that he wasn't a blood relative doesn't change that.
Yeah. It's just a pity that we had to learn the truth of everything like this.
Do you already have some ideas about the decision that he wanted you to make?
I do. If he first found me alone in the sands, then I want to try my hand at finding the person who abandoned me. I just have one wish. To tell them a story. That there once existed a childish and foolish jerk with a heart of gold. And that only under his care was I able to grow and mature into the person I am today.
If you end up finding any leads, can you share them with us? We go on adventures all the time. Maybe we'll be able to find some information for you.
Sure, I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting you to be so enthusiastic.
I also don't want to see his efforts go to
I'll
waste.
help too.
Thank you. All of you. Thank you so much. My life has certainly had its twists and turns, but I've always considered myself lucky. Because no matter where I've gone, I've always been surrounded by incredible kindness.
That's it. So is that done? Before we get into the next one though, I completely forgot I was gonna flex on you guys with my Arlecchino funds. Look at that. Currently on 4 pity. 31 fates right there. Enough star glitter to get me 16. And then obviously this stuff. 90. Bam. Insane, I know. Okay. I still have it in me for some more. Who's next? Baiju. Alright. Let's go Boo Boo Pharmacy. I haven't been there in a while. Swap out of my thing. I'll just put on a little main team. That was my Samara team. Oh, there's Chi-Chi. Hi, Chi-Chi.
What's your name, buddy? Are you here to buy some medicine? Where are your mom and dad?
Are you lost?
No, I'm not. My name's Ayu, and I'm here because...
Hey there, Chi-Chi. Hi, Gray.
Oh,
What's
come
going
on.
Hi, Traveler and Paimon.
Hi, Chi-Chi.
You've actually come at the perfect time. This little boy seems to have gotten himself lost. I think he must be new to the city. Probably wandered away from his parents and...
No, listen to me. I'm not the one who's lost. It's my dad.
Your dad? How does a fully grown man manage to get lost in Liyue Harbor?
Well, my dad's always been kind of forgetful.
Like Chi-Chi.
In the past, he was just a little slow to react sometimes. But I'm worried that it's getting more serious.
So, what about your mom?
She went out a few days ago to gather some herbs for my dad, but she still hasn't come back. Meanwhile, my dad's been getting worse and worse. I remembered that the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy always runs a clinic in Chingsa Village during the Lantern Rite, so I thought, Why don't I take Dad to Liyue Harbor to see him there?
Yeah, he must mean Baiju.
When we got to the city gate, I took a moment to ask the Millelith guards for directions to the pharmacy. And then, when I turned back around, my dad was gone. I asked the Millelith guys to go find him, but he said they won't be able to send that many people. So then I figured, maybe I could ask some other people in the city to help.
You came to the right place. We're pros at finding people. Isn't that right, Traveler?
Yeah, I'll be a piece of cake.
Changshen can help. She has a good sense of
Who's that?
smell, like a dog.
Hey, who's
Oh,
talking
the
about me
snake.
behind my back?
Changsheng, Chi-Chi meant that as a compliment. There's no need to be upset. Hello, child. You mentioned that you were looking for the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy. How might we be of service?
You have a talking snake? Oh, are you Uncle Baiju?
Uncle Baiju?
Changsheng, now's
Oh,
not the
Chang, shut
time.
up.
My dear boy, could you tell me more about your father's condition, as much as you can recall?
Yes, Uncle... Dr. Baiju.
He explains his father's health situation to
I
Baiju.
see. And your family lives near Qingse Village, you say? I visit patients there frequently, but I don't recall ever seeing you or your parents.
Uh-huh. My mom doesn't like meeting other people, especially during Lantern Rite. She always tells me to just stay at home and keep my dad company.
Is that so? Ayu, by any chance, is your mother's name Jiangli?
Whoa, yeah, it is! Do you know my mom, Dr. Baiju?
I certainly do. Gui, Chi-Chi, are there any pressing matters in the pharmacy at the moment? Ayu's parents are old acquaintances of mine, so I would very much like to assist with the search. Would the two of you have time to join me?
Don't forget us two. We already told Ayu that we'd help.
Oh, really? Well, that's wonderful. We are most grateful for your support.
Yep, you can count on us.
Chi-Chi and I need to clear up the shop front first, but once that's taken care of, we'll be right out to help you with the search.
Family is very important.
Thank you. Then I'll leave you to handle the pharmacy. Traveler, Paimon, why don't you come with me and Ayu? Let's start by talking to the Millelith guards at the city gates, see if they have an update.
Alright. Art of Healing. I mainly wanted to kind of catch up on my story quest channel. No. I mainly wanted to catch up on my story quest because Arlecchino was supposed to be getting one in the next update. And slight spoiler, I guess, so there's your warning. It's gonna have a weekly boss, which I saw some leaks for and it looks really cool. And obviously, you know, many of the weekly boss drops for her talent level up and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to do that.
I searched to the
as soon
north,
as I
but
can.
couldn't find anyone who matched the description.
Which
Well,
I
that
just kind of wanted
complicates
to,
things. The
you know,
city folks say there's no sign of him either.
get through the ones that
We
are
need to start
piling up
looking further
anyways.
afield. But where are we gonna get the people?
Excuse me, sirs. Have you found out anything about my dad yet?
Ah, hey there, buddy. Dr. Baiju. What brings you out this way?
The boy asked for our help, so we're here to join the search. Any new developments to update us on?
Oh, thank goodness. We were just discussing how we're running out of manpower. As for updates, I'm sorry to say that we've searched the surrounding area thoroughly, but didn't find anything.
The guards at the crossing up ahead said they hadn't seen anyone either, so we don't believe he was heading towards the Guili Plains. But it is possible that he was bound for Luhua Pool.
Luhua Pool? The terrain there can be tricky to navigate. Let's hope he hasn't run into any trouble.
We'll take that area.
You will? Oh, great. We can't thank you enough.
Sorry we weren't able to find your dad, buddy.
That's okay. Thank you for
Yeah, I've been
trying.
there plenty of times. Oh, look what I pulled. This way. It's actually here recently. One of my friends. He's I wouldn't call him a new player. He's been playing for a while, but
Dad!
he's been
Dad, can you hear me?
exploring more, leveling up characters more and stuff. So I helped him with that little puzzle. I think it was last week, actually, last weekend.
There's somebody over there!
Is that him?
Oh no, it's... Hey, you! Stop! Don't go any further!
There's a lounge. Hey.
Watch
Sure.
where you're going!
Who? Oh, who's out?
Dear customer, Wangsheng Funeral Parlor does appreciate your patronage, but you needn't hasten the inevitable. Are you all right?
Appreciate your patronage.
Huh?
Dad!
Hey, Hotel!
My, who do we have here?
I was just like, hi.
It's the Traveler in Paimon, and
How's you?
my worst nightmare.
I see she still hasn't warmed to you.
Thank you, Director Who, for saving this man.
Dad, are you okay? Do you recognize me? It's me, Ayu.
You're... Ayu? Who am I?
Your name is Xiao Liang, and you live just west of Qingse Village. You were supposed to come to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. Remember? Does that jog your memory?
Oh, my name is Jia Liang. Liyue Harbor. See the doctor? Yes, I'm Jia Liang, and I need to see the doctor. Wait, why do I need to see the doctor?
Uh-oh. He seems in really bad shape. We need to get him back to Boo Boo Pharmacy right away. Sorry, Hotel. Gotta dash. Dinner's on us next time.
Hold on a second. You're not seriously thinking of taking him to Boo Boo Pharmacy in this state, are you?
Huh? Why not? What's the problem?
Come on, Baizhu. Don't tell me you haven't noticed it. Didn't your master teach you how to spot the signs?
What
Why
signs?
do I get the sense that you spotted them right away, but you're planning to use it for your own ends?
Use what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Paimon's lost.
There are traces of god remains in Jia Liang's system.
Oh, yes, but more importantly, they're on the verge of an outburst.
What's
If
you mean
that
by that?
happens, the consequences will be unthinkable.
Paimon's sorry. What?
God remains?
There's no need to worry, Director Who. I have methods of keeping them at bay. It is the sworn
It's like a
duty of
first
all
aid
who
floor?
practice medicine to cure illnesses
Is that
and
what she means
save
by like
lives.
outburst?
What reason would I have to neglect a patient in need who is right there in front of me? Besides, it was my late master's dying wish to be able to save this patient in particular. Perhaps out of respect for him, you could give me a day's grace so that I have time to treat him?
Now you're bringing my great uncle into this? Baizhu, just what are you planning this time?
Merely to cure this man, nothing more. But of course, if you have any doubt as to my intentions, you are more than welcome to accompany me to Boo Boo Pharmacy and monitor my activities.
Oh, really? I thought I was persona non grata at Boo Boo Pharmacy. You're being unusually generous today.
Well, don't forget that we're here too.
Okay, deal. We're not gonna solve anything by keeping Jia Liang here. I'm happy to do it your way, but only for my great uncle's sake and the travelers, of course.
You must be pleased you brought the traveler along. Otherwise, this would have been a much more vexing ordeal.
Well, time is of the essence. Let's get ourselves back to Boo Boo Pharmacy at once.
The group returns to the back room at Boo Boo Pharmacy. Finally, I had enough room to read it. or enough time.
Blockages within the cardiovascular
that's
system. Reduced blood flow and energy circulation? I see. I suppose this must have caused the cognitive abnormalities.
Dr. Baiju, how bad is it? Can you cure him?
Don't you worry. Baiju's a really great doctor. He's sure to find a way. Isn't that right, Baiju?
Ayu, do you know when your father first started displaying these symptoms?
I'm not sure. He's been like this for as long as I can remember. But it wasn't as bad as this when I was still little.
So it's been a long time indeed.
Is it a grim prognosis?
No. I have a treatment plan in mind. We can start tonight. Come and see me again tomorrow morning. I promise that by then, Ayu will find his father healthy and lucid again.
Thank you, Dr. Baiju. Thank you so much.
If you still have any misgivings, Director Who,
Imagine,
please feel
like,
free to hang around for as long as you wish.
go back tomorrow morning. He's fine to end the quest.
However, it would be best if you step outside this room. A doctor must be able to focus when treating a patient. Any distractions heighten the risk of complications.
Yes, of course, absolutely. I'll just go and look at the flowers or something. But I will be back in an instant at the first sign that something's amiss.
We'll be heading on now too.
See you tomorrow, Baiju and Chung Chung.
Bye for now, everyone.
Are you ready, Baiju?
Ready as I'll ever be. I'm used to it by now. Come on, let's get started.
All's well that ends well, huh? You know, Paimon's kind of curious after hearing Baiju mention those people from his past. What do you think they were like?
You mean Baiju's master?
Yeah, you must be curious too, right?
Yeah.
Let's go see what we can find out while Baiju's busy treating Ayu's dad.
I do need something to drink after all this sunflower seeds though, so give me a second and I will be right back. Let me get some waffles on.
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Since I've been literally going on off the stream on sunflower seeds and candy, I got 2 oranges. Where's the... There we go. 2 oranges. Oh, apparently one of them when we get into dialogue. I need to go ask around for information from Hutao. There we go, soaring in.
While I'm idling time on admiring the scenery, the spectacled snake-bedecked docs doing surgery. Hello, you busy bees, and what do you have to discuss with the funeral director today?
So...
Actually, don't tell me. Let me guess. From the looks on your faces, you've got some questions for me.
That's true.
Guilty as charged. So, we were just a little curious about Baiju's master. What was he like? Oh, and also, how come you and Baiju could tell so quickly that Jialiang had god remains in his system?
Huh? I thought I told
How
you
did
once
he
before.
get those also?
Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was first founded to fight back against the vengeful wrath of gods defeated in war.
That vaguely rings a bell, but the details are hazy.
Well, it is a dusty old tale by this point. Long story short, in the ancient world, dead gods were acting up, so our ancestors started purifying the air and burning the bodies of the deceased to guard the border between life and death. These days, we don't deal with the wrath of the gods anymore, but all the relevant know-how is still passed down to each generation, so we can identify gods' remains when we see them.
Okay, Paimon gets it now. Wait, so how did Baiju learn to spot them?
Almost certainly from his master, who was also my great-uncle. Baiju's master was my grandpa's younger brother, a former deputy director of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Wow, fancy that! Huh. So, if he was from Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, how did he end up as Baiju's master?
According to my grandpa, he and my great-uncle once went traveling together when they were young. They ended up at Chenyu Vale, where they met a pharmacist. That pharmacist must have cast some sort of spell on my great-uncle, because after that encounter, he suddenly announced he wanted to leave the family business and go practice medicine instead. My grandpa had a huge argument with him, but he couldn't convince him to stay. So my grandpa inherited the funeral parlor, while my great-uncle stayed in Chenyu Vale to practice medicine. They never spoke to each other again.
Funeral director to doctor is a pretty big career change. Kinda hard to imagine. But why did it drive a wedge between them for the rest of their lives? That seems a bit extreme.
If he had just become a regular doctor, there would have been no issue. After all, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor wasn't unlike a regular doctor's clinic in the early days. But according to my grandpa, the pharmacist they met had a very ominous aura about him. And on top of that, the kind of medicine practiced in the Chenyu Vale tradition goes against the natural order of things.
In what way?
Don't know. My grandpa didn't know the specifics. And you've seen how wary Baiju is around me. He'd never tell me anything. But even that says to me that he definitely has something to hide. One thing I do know about Baiju is that he's obsessed with the idea of immortality. But whether that has anything to do with what he's hiding is hard to say.
Immortality.
Anyway, so I will be sticking around here for now to keep a close eye on the situation. Maybe tomorrow I'll finally figure out what he's up to.
After all that, it seems like we have more questions than answers. Never mind. We'll just have to ask Baiju himself about all of this tomorrow.
8:10. Go to 8:45.
It's a new day! Let's go back to Boo Boo Pharmacy and check out how Jialiang is doing.
Right name for a pharmacy. Boo Boo.
Dad!
Oh, are you?
Dad, you remember me!
Yes, I remember now. Oh, are you? I'm so sorry. You must have been worried sick. Has your mom shown up yet? She's been gone for a while, hasn't she?
Don't worry, Dad. I got the Adventurers Guild to help us look for her. And Dr. Baiju's gonna help too. Right now, all you need to do is concentrate on getting better.
Great. That's wonderful. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Baiju.
My pleasure, really. It's the least I can do to honor my late master's dying wish. If anything, I should be apologizing to you for not making the time to visit in all these years.
Not at all, Dr. Baiju. It's only because Jiang Li... What was her reason again?
You're still in the early stages of recovery, so you'll need to take it easy for a while. Take it slowly and try not to overexert yourself.
I suggest you stay at Boo Boo Pharmacy and rest for at least the next few days.
Director Hu, do you have any further reservations about Jia Liang's condition?
It seems like the evil presence is gone after all. You really did manage to suppress it, huh? But how did you accomplish this in a single night?
Little tongue click.
That would be a trade secret, I'm afraid. If that gives you any cause for concern, you may continue to monitor Jia Liang for as long as you wish. Though I regret to say that Boo Boo Pharmacy cannot offer to reimburse Wang Sheng Funeral Parlor for any revenue lost in the meantime.
Oh, come on, Baiju. I'm not that unreasonable.
Baiju looks a little worse for wear. Something's wrong.
Yeah, I've been stuck indoors for too long. Baiju, take me outside for some air.
There's literally
I'm
no
going to
door.
suffocate.
It's open. You technically are outdoors.
Everyone,
Look,
please
it's
excuse
just
Jiang
open.
Sheng and myself for a moment.
Suffering now, are we? Did you seriously expect to cover it up just by putting on a brave face and ignoring it? If it weren't for my quick thinking, they'd have all seen the sorry state you're in by now.
The snake is annoying.
But in any case, why must you keep this a secret from everybody? You should at least share your secret with one person you trust.
Who's there?
It's me.
Why did you follow us here?
I thought you were looking a little unwell.
Oh, it's nothing. I just needed to get some air.
What did I just say about putting on a brave face? Traveler, Paimon, the truth is, Baiju did not cure Jialiang's illness. Instead, he transferred some of his own life force to his patient to temporarily subdue the poison in his system.
Life force.
Baiju, can you please explain all of this?
My predecessors in medicine forged a contract with Changsheng. Every successor to this contract is able to use Changsheng's secret art to treat patients. I believe the irregularities with Jia Liang's heart meridian were likely caused by a poison concocted using god remains as a key ingredient. The poison has not been purged from Jia Liang's system. Rather, I infused him with some of my own life force, using Changsheng as the delivery medium. This will suppress the poison's effects for a limited time.
Changsheng? You can do that? Huh. Paimon always thought you were just Baiju's strange choice of a necklace.
Same, actually.
I'll have you know that I commanded the respect of even the Adepti back in Chenyu Vale. If anything, he is my mannequin. I was treating patients with Baiju's master's master long before he ever set eyes on his first medical text. Whoa. Guess you shouldn't judge a snake by its skin.
Please, that's enough.
Yeah, you're looking even worse now than before.
Wait a sec. Huto was saying that the branch of medicine you studied uses some pretty dubious methods. So, when you transfer your life force, Does that mean you're actually damaging your own body?
Hardly. Jiangsheng helps to keep my chi in balance, so there is no great harm done.
Still, Baiju's life force is not unlimited. We must find a way to neutralize the poison in Jialiang's body. And soon. Traveler, Paimon, would you lend this dummy a hand? He needs someone checking up on him, or he'll exhaust himself trying to accomplish everything on his own.
Go on, Baiju, let us help you.
Baiju, don't you think you should seize this opportunity? You cannot expect to hide this from everyone for your entire life. Time will see that all secrets surface eventually.
Entire life.
Starting to feel
Thank
kind
you, Traveler and Paimon.
So I think this is gonna be the last mission for the stream.
Paimon doesn't think we've seen this side of you, but there's no need to thank us. You've helped us out before.
So what are the next steps?
The poison in Jialiang's system must have accumulated over a prolonged period. I think I should pay a visit to their family home and look for clues as to how he might have been exposed to it.
Do you know where his house is?
Yes. I asked Ayu this morning before you arrived. He told me that his family lives in a secluded spot to the west of Qingsa village. Let's head there together once I've asked Gui and Chi-Chi to look after the pharmacy. As well as investigating Jialiang's exposure to the poison, we should also keep an eye out for Ayu's missing mother, my fellow disciple Jiang Li.
Boop. 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 Whee! Is this our house?
Follow the wind.
This must be it.
Whoa! There's a house all the way out here? Huh. It's so well hidden, Paimon's never noticed it before.
I actually haven't either.
Nor have I. And I've hosted clinics at Qingsa village many times in the past. If you ask me, Jiang Li was trying to remain unnoticed.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. We meant to ask earlier, but it slipped our minds in the rush to get here. Could you tell us more about Jiang Li? You said she was your fellow disciple, right?
She was indeed. We studied medicine together under the same master near Chenyu Vale. She is several years older than I and also began her travels far earlier than me. As a result, the time I spent studying alongside her was rather short.
Supposedly, she met an herb gatherer sometime during her travels and decided to settle down with him. That must have been Jialiang. Wait, Changsheng, are you saying neither of you had actually met Jialiang or Ayu before all of this?
Jiang Li did occasionally come back to Chenyu Vale to see our master, but for whatever reason, she hardly ever talked about her family. The last time she visited us, she and Master had some sort of quarrel. We never heard from her after that. It almost seemed as if she'd gone into hiding.
Quarrel? What happened? I don't know. I did not witness the argument myself.
Nor did Master ever explain it to me. All he would say is that should I ever encounter Jiang Li or her family in the future, I should do everything in my power to help them.
Oh, so that's why you went to such extreme lengths to help Jialiang.
No. Even if my master had never said anything, it would still be my duty as a doctor to help him. My decision would have remained the same.
Paimon never knew you were so selfless, Baiju. Paimon always had you down as the sneaky, scheming type.
Honestly, I kinda did. do.
So a few words from me is enough to dispel all your suspicions?
No, I'm still kind of...
You ought not be quite so quick to relax your guard, Paimon. Sometimes even the good guys have their own private agenda.
What the? Okay, that was the most suspicious sounding thing you've ever said.
Let's leave the idle chatter there for now. Jiang Li has lived in this house for many years. There must be something here that can shed a little light on this whole situation. Let's split up. But if anyone finds anything, we'll examine it together.
Alright. Several faint marks can be seen on the pillar. Maybe it was used to record Ayu's height as he grew up. There's some faded writing near the bottom mark. The more quickly Ayu grows up, the sooner can leave. Judging by the number of marks on the pillar, the family has led a secluded existence here for many, many years. The firewood is neatly stacked, and the logs were cut with great power and precision. Whoever chopped the firewood must have been physically fit. Some logs at the bottom of the pile have begun to rot. It must have been a while since any new wood was added to the pile. And lastly, we got a book. Diary of Childish Handwriting. Some roof tiles broke. Mom and I tried to get up and take a look, but we didn't manage. Luckily, Dad was able to fix them in no time. The dinner table was a bit wobbly today when we sat down to eat. Dad tried to fix it, but ended up breaking one of the legs by accident. Dad's forgetting things again. I'll have to write it all down for now and read it back to him when he's feeling a bit better.
Traveler, Paimon, come quick! What is this?
Oh, it's got purple. That's not good.
Chung Shung and I found a hidden compartment. This is what was hidden inside.
God remains?
You sense it too?
No, I was just guessing.
You're right. This is a poison concocted using god remains. Is it breathing? Paimon's not seeing things, is she?
No, your eyes do not deceive you. I do believe the poison in this bottle is alive.
Alive?
Some toxins act a lot like living organisms. I read about this once in The Origins and Symptoms of Diseases. This ancient class of poisons consists of mother and minor loads, capable of sustaining a connection over vast distances. If it's a concoction of this kind we're dealing with, then both the poison in Jialiang's system and this one here are likely minor loads. Offshoots, essentially.
Offshoots? So, the main body is somewhere else?
Correct. Whoever is administering the poison can manipulate the source to indirectly control the poisoned individual's behavior and even cognition. Similarly, the poisoned individual will hear, to a varying extent, the call of the source.
I'm calling it already. The person that poisoned the dad is the mom.
So, back when Jialiang ran off, maybe that explains where he was heading!
He was going back towards Chinsu village.
Only one thing could have been drawing him there. The source of the god remains used as the poison's key ingredient, the mother lode.
This is getting crazier and crazier. What kind of person would do all this just to poison Jialiang? Hey, why has everyone gone quiet all of a sudden?
It's the mom.
Since this poison was carefully hidden away in a secret compartment, the one who concocted it is likely a resident of the house.
Yep.
You mean Jialiang? Why would
No,
he
not
poison
Paimon is an idiot.
Think a little harder, Paimon. Someone else who lives
Come
here,
on.
and who might have expertise in crafting drugs. Huh? So you're saying... It was Jiang Li?
Good job. She got it.
That doesn't make any sense either. Why would she poison her own husband?
I agree. It makes little sense. Jiang Li does not strike me as the kind of person who would do such a thing.
Look at the facts, though. How many many people in the entirety of Liyue have the ability to concoct a poison from god remains?
It's too early to draw any conclusions. We should question Jia Liang about it once he has made more progress in his recovery.
Do you know of a method to neutralize the poison?
Yes. According to the origins and symptoms of diseases, the minor loads will disappear if the mother load is purged. So if we can find and destroy the source of these god remains, the poison will leave Jia Liang's system without the need for any further treatment. Do you know anything about god remains in Qingsa village?
Nothing concrete.
Even the history books have no record of this. The only ones who'll know anything are those old fogies who have been hanging around here since the beginning of time. Didn't you used to be on good terms with the Adepti, though?
What's that
You sure they didn't tell you anything about this?
I feel like you know about this stuff.
Well,
Changsheng's memories and powers are not what they were in her prime. These days, she has to enter a contract with a mortal and share their life force just to sustain her own life. I fear that such ancient events are long gone from her memory by now.
Whoa, what? Enter a contract? Share life force? Sounds like some pretty spooky sorcery if you ask Paimon. Hey, plenty of people would jump at the chance to join forces with a powerful being like me.
I'm
With
good.
my assistance in rebalancing your chi, not only can you extend your lifespan, but you will also be stronger, healthier, and able to eat whatever you like with no risk of upsetting your stomach.
I'm good. I would not like to live with that snake. She annoys me.
Amazing! Baiju, maybe when you retire, you can let Paimon sign a contract with Changsheng for a few days.
Unfortunately, Changsheng's contract has strict requirements regarding the host's temperament. None of her hosts have ever been exempted from these rules. I fear that I will be unable to accommodate your wishes, Paimon.
Temperament? Hey! What are you trying to say? Did you just subtly insult Paimon to her face?
Strange. Baiju has a weak constitution. And didn't his master pass away at an early age?
Ugh! Paimon's mad! You're getting ugly nicknames, both of you! Baiju, you're Mannequin Man! Chang-Chang, you're just a pain in the neck! This is exactly why your natural temperament makes you woefully unsuited to being my host.
All right, everybody, calm down. Back to the matter at hand. Is there any way at all for us to seek counsel from the Adepti about this?
With how antisocial they are? If it were up to them, they'd go their whole lives without showing their faces to the common folk.
Actually, I do have someone I can call. Zhao! Zhao!
Seems you're as well connected as they say, traveler. We are truly fortunate to have you on our side.
Zhao!
If you're talking about who Paimon thinks you're talking about,
He's not showing up.
you better do the honors.
Do it. Zhao. There he is.
You called?
Hi.
Gets Paimon every time. Are all Adepti in the habit of materializing out of thin air like this?
Well, this is unexpected.
Huh? It's you.
Baiju of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I do believe I've had the pleasure before. The Lantern Rite, when we met briefly, I was unaware of your true identity. I must apologize for the discourtesy.
Trying to think.
You two already
Did they
know
show
each
that?
other?
Our paths have crossed once before.
I can't remember.
I sense the presence of evil spirits.
Oh.
Is this why you called me?
Actually, I wanted to ask you about dead gods. Tell Zhao everything that has happened.
So someone has been concocting demonic poison. Too often, fervent desires drive mortals to abandon all regard for their own safety. It is lamentable.
Lament.
I now know what you seek. It is true that a god's remains are buried beneath the foundations of Chinxa village. A vile monster known as the
I like how
Chur
this
once
is
wrought
Baiju's
havoc over this land.
story quest,
Before
but
it was
like
subdued by Rex Lapis.
we've seen
The land
Chi-Chi,
was finally
we've
cleansed
seen
of poison
Hu-Tao,
when Rex Lapis
Shop
used
is in here
statues in his
now.
likeness to seal the serpent's remains. Chinxa village was founded sometime after that.
Only
The
playable
seal is
character
still
that we saw in the
mostly
last
intact.
one was
If the Chur
Faye.
is the source,
That's because it was her
then it
quest.
must be some of its blood leaking from deep underground. However, its aura is faint and barely detectable. You will need to investigate further to identify the location of the leak. I do not like to intervene against mortals unless absolutely necessary. But when demonic forces are involved, things can spiral out of control. If that happens, be sure to call my name again.
Thank you, Zhao.
Nothing. I do not wish to sway decisions that are mortals to make, but immortality may not be the blessing that you imagine it to be.
I shall treasure your words of instruction, Master Adeptus.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
What a strange Adeptus. Rather different from the way I remember them. That's Shell for ya! And thanks to him, we finally got some concrete info to go off of.
If the god remains are leaking from underground, Jiangli must be paying a visit to a subterranean cave on her herb-gathering trips. If we can find the cave...
Seems
Master!
that's like a domain thing.
Master! There's a problem!
Oh,
Gwei? Did you run all the way from Boo Boo Pharmacy?
What happened?
how do you know where we
Don't
went?
panic. Just catch your breath.
Like the
and
exact
tell me
location.
everything.
It's Jiaoliang. He was fine one minute, and then he suddenly took a turn for the worse.
Already?
What?
How? Based on past experience, he should have been fine for the next 3 days at least.
Whatever the girl's
It
name
seems that my worst fears have been
is,
confirmed.
she's in the cave
Everyone,
or whatever.
back to Boo Boo Pharmacy now.
That's my guess, at least. Okay, go, go, go. Fast, 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 fast. Load. Move it, move it. Made it, quick.
Dad, what's wrong? Dad?
Don't be scared. Dr. Baishu will be back soon.
How is he doing?
Dr. Baiju, you're back! My dad was doing fine earlier, but then he suddenly started coughing up blood.
Oh.
Now he can't even get a full word out anymore.
When Gui left, he was still conscious. But now...
Gui, please take Jiaoliang to the back room and prepare for treatment.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, Ayu. I will cure your father.
Baiju's not gonna use Changsheng's secret art again, is he?
Probably.
Is there really no other way to save Jiaoliang?
Oh, please don't worry. Dr. Baishu will find a way.
But...
Chi-Chi's trying to help. Boop, boop.
Wherever.
How are you feeling, Dad? Are you still hurting anywhere? You're not gonna suddenly collapse again, are you?
Much better, Ayu. I'm feeling much better. In fact, I can't explain it, but somehow I feel even better than usual. Wait, where's Dr. Baiju? I still haven't had a chance to thank him. Seems he moved me here before I came to.
Master said he needed to take a quick rest and asked me to bring you out of the treatment room. He hasn't emerged yet, so he must still be resting.
Oh, really? Well, he must be tired from treating me for 2 nights in a row. I don't know how I can begin to repay him for saving my life. I'll have to discuss it properly with Jiangli once we find her. Speaking of which, has there been any word of her whereabouts yet?
No, the Adventurers Guild hasn't gotten back to me yet. I'll go check with them again in a bit.
I'll come with...
Don't forget what Master said. You're still not out of the woods yet, Jialiang. I strongly suggest that you stay and rest at Boo Boo Pharmacy for now. I can accompany Ayu to the Adventurers Guild.
I suppose you're right. I'll have to rely on you this time. Though, on the bright side, this means I can thank Dr. Baiju in person once he's finished resting.
Traveler, Baiju hasn't shown his face ever since he went in to treat Jialiang again. Do you think he...
Yeah, let's go check on him.
Huh? Hey, wait up!
Huh?
You're finally awake? That was far too risky. Even with me here to help you balance your chi.
There was no time. I had no other choice. In any case, it was not completely without benefit to myself. I managed to learn something. Jiangli's design is quite brilliant. She makes numerous innovations that I can learn from. Alas, if only there wasn't a catch.
So, how much longer do you think Baiju's gonna nap for? They've been outside waiting for you the whole time while you were asleep. Shall we at least go and show our faces?
All right.
Surely
Well,
he
you go
hasn't.
see these god remains.
There's no way you could have just...
The mother lode.
Who's
Or sure,
tugging
that's what you
behind
called
our
it.
backs again? Ah! Baiju! Changsheng!
Are you both okay?
Of course. There's no need to be concerned. I merely had to transfer a rather large amount of life force on this occasion. But, with Changsheng's help, I will recover in time.
Jialiang seemed fine yesterday. Why did he need more life-saving treatment again so soon?
I made an error in my initial diagnosis. Jialiang is in fact suffering from more than one ailment.
Oh.
And as a result, his life force depleted at a greater rate than I had anticipated.
What? You mean, even if you got all the poison out of him, he'd still be sick?
Yes. But more pertinently, the poison in Jialiang's system is there precisely because it is being used to manage his underlying medical condition.
What?
Jialiang has a rare congenital heart condition, and ongoing treatment is essential to maintaining healthy functioning of his heart meridian. Left untreated, it puts the patient at risk of coughing up blood and fainting, and in the longer term, causes irreversible damage to the internal organs.
Yeah, that's
Though
not
it
good.
was created from
That's-
god remains, this formula is not a poison in Jialiang's case. Rather, it's his medication.
Had he not taken it all these years, he likely would have died a long time ago.
So that's why Zhongli did it.
Still, using poison to treat a disease is hardly a viable long-term solution. As time passed, and the poison accumulated in his system, it began to impact his cognition. Moreover, the longer he relied upon this medicine, the more resistant his body became to it. Jiang Li had to concoct ever greater quantities to ensure its continued efficacy. Or he could have still perished at any moment.
That explains why Ayu said his dad has been getting worse, and why his mom went off to gather herbs.
God remains are extremely dangerous to be around, because humans have no natural defense against them. I shudder to think how many times Jiang Li has exposed herself to them. I fear that the situation is just as that Adeptus described. In an effort to save Jialiang's life, Jiang Li has abandoned all regard for her own safety.
I never suspected that even Jiang Li would turn to the same path as so many others over the years. Perhaps this is the inevitable course of fate. To sacrifice one's own life to save others. To go beyond human means in order to do the impossible. Whatever the cost may be.
Hey?
Well, I think that it's too early to say with any certainty what fate has in mind. In any case, I have stabilized Jialiang's condition for now, so our immediate priority should be to get ourselves back to Qingsa village and find out where Jiang Li is. Her regular exposure to God remains over such a long period will have been catastrophic for her health.
Someone
and given
eavesdropping?
that she's
Oh,
already
it's
been
him.
missing for several days, I am fearing the worst.
Who's that?
It's me, Traveler, Dr. Baiju.
How much left did he hear?
It's Jialiang! Don't tell Paimon you overheard everything already.
Dr. Baiju, please let me come with you. You've already done so much for my family. I can no longer just sit here and watch while you put yourself at risk for Jiang Li's sake. After all, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have had to put herself in harm's way in the first place. I know I won't be of much help in battle, but at the very least, I can show you the way. I'm sure I'll be able to remember. I know there's a spot where she says goodbye to me every time she goes to gather her herbs. I'm sure I'll remember. I have to remember.
Be careful. If you get too agitated, your blood pressure and stress levels will rise, putting further pressure on your heart. For your own safety, you should stay here and rest.
No! We're out of time! We have to go now. Right now. Before I forget everything again.
This trip will be extremely dangerous, and there is a very real possibility that you will not return from it. Are you sure you're prepared for that?
I never expected to live this long in the first place. My death is already long overdue. So why should I fear it? There's only one thing I fear now, and that's that I'll forget her again before
Now
I
who
manage
tells
to
he's
find her.
scrapping?
Very well. Then follow me.
Dr. Baiju, are you heading out again?
Yes. This could be a long one. Could you please prepare a dose of the usual formula? Please add an extra measure of mistgrass pollen and 1 dose each of the ingredients from the 3rd and 5th compartments of my medicine cabinet. I hope it works.
Dr. Baiju, do you mean...
Hop to it now, and remember to be careful with the cauldron this time. You don't want to burn yourself again.
Okay.
Okay, so he had Chi-Chi make something.
Time to go.
And we gotta go return back to the house, it looks like. Let me down.
That strange feeling is back. It's just like the day I went missing. It's as if something inside me is trying to guide me somewhere.
The Motherlode's influence is growing stronger. But is it because we're getting closer to the source? Or because the leakage of Che blood is growing more severe? Jialiang, can you sense which direction the source is in?
I think it's this way.
Perfect. He's gonna lead us right to it.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Why is he moving like that? Look at his arms.
I feel a dull ache in my heart. This must be the way. This place feels familiar.
Oh, yep, right here.
I think I've been here before.
Right here.
There is an inauspicious presence here. Even I can sense it.
I can see
I think I remember this
the main
place.
entrance.
Jialiang, are you okay? Maybe you should rest here while we continue the search.
No, I have to keep going. Jiangli is still waiting for me. Then let's hurry.
Go. Come on. Come on, this intro and Geo. I have Zhongli, and then it's gonna give me a trial Baiju if I had to guess. Yep.
This place gives Paimon the creeps. Who knows what we're gonna find up ahead? The digging marks here appear amateur and rather old. I suspect it is a thieves' tunnel. A thieves' tunnel? Paimon has heard rumors about treasure around these parts before. Maybe it was the treasure hoarders that dug this tunnel.
Judging by the tools they left behind, it's certainly a possibility. But why did they abandon this place without even stopping to pack up their tools?
I remember now. She took me here once and told me that she'd found a way to save me in this cave. But she said that the method would cause me to, curses! Why can't I remember what she said?
Easy, Jialiang. Come on, let's keep going.
Boom. Boom, boom, boom. This guy see-through? Yep. No blast, like always. We got his 5-star. 8, 8, 11. Boom.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Boom, 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 boom.
Mind the side effects.
It's pretty cool, actually. Just click.
A bitter pill to swallow.
I like it, like, goes between the... Oh, and it comes back to me and it heals me.
Shine down!
Whoa, there's a sensor here. Those treasure hoarders sure made themselves at home.
The burn marks on the inside are still fresh. I don't think this was left here by the treasure hoarders.
I believe this sensor was used to burn a monster-repelling incense.
A monster repelling incense? You sure? 'Cause we did run into that group of monsters just
Hey,
now.
those were Hilichurls.
The incense was
not
burned
monsters.
several days
Get
ago.
it right.
If I had to guess, the monsters we fought just
They were
now were
people.
enticed here by some entity deeper inside the cave. No doubt an encounter with the very same entity was what prompted the treasure hoarders to flee and abandon their designs on this cave. After them, Jiang Li was the next person to discover this place and what lies inside. But to her, it presented an opportunity to save Jia Liang's life, albeit as a last resort.
That's right. This sensor, it belongs to Jiang Li. Yes, this was the place. This is where I told Jiang Li to give me the poison.
Oh, he told her to give it to him?
I'm fine. Let's keep going. I can feel it. She is right below us, waiting for me.
Open.
I can feel it. We're getting close. We're almost there. It's right up ahead. The place where we made a pact together to...
Bam, that was me. Boom. See, I'm doing that.
Aha! We can keep going now.
From the looks of it, the energy released by this mechanism can not only clear barriers, but also be conducted by corresponding mechanisms. Perhaps it's something we can make use of.
God, what's this? What's up in this? I'll see what's back here. Yes. I think that's where I'm supposed to go. Okay, it seemed like I didn't get that everyone.
There is no escape! Into the wind!
Mind the side effects.
Okay, his range could be better. But,
One with nature.
overall, better damage than I expected for healer.
A bigger pill to swallow. Remember, health comes first.
Did not mean to use that. Oh, but I got a shield. Oh, and it launches like attacks. That's pretty cool. There we go. Oh, I think I get it. Activate this, and then it's gonna hit that, and then it's gonna spread this way. Yep. It's gonna open that, but I want to see what's through here. And it looks like there's absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. No, go down. Okay. Oh god.
Zhongli!
Look out! There's a monster next to her!
Oh, she's passed out.
God remains must have lured them here. Watch my back.
Come on, Baiju.
Taking a turn for the better.
Access denied.
The doctor will see you.
Mind the side effects.
So you know what I'm talking about with range?
This is nothing.
Fine, you
A
can
bitter
heal her.
pill to swallow. Seems like an emergency.
Oop.
Dr. Baiju, how serious is
That
it?
was a cutscene. I'd like
She-
quickly move my mouse cursor
I can
off the
still
screen.
feel a pulse, but her condition is quite grave. The god remains here are encroaching on her cognition, much as the poison in your system did to you. If we don't eliminate it soon, then even if we save her life, I fear that she may never wake up again.
Then, what are we waiting for? Let's destroy the remains right away! It's not as simple as that. Don't you remember what Baiju said? The poison within Jialiang's body is inextricably linked to
Oh,
the
that's
god
right.
remains here. If the source is purged, the poison in his system will stop having any effect. And the poison within Jialiang's body is keeping his heart condition under control. So, if it stops working... Oh no. Are you saying...
Indeed. If the god remains here are purged, then your life will come to an end.
I wondered when this day might come.
Wait! But we've all been working our butts off to save Jialiang's life! After all that, we can't just give up on him! Baiju, you're a great doctor! Surely you gotta know of some other way we can save him, right?
You could continue to take the poison, which would buy you some time. As for Jiang Li, maybe if we put our heads together, we can think of something?
It appears to me that she was striving to concoct your medicine for you, right up until the moment when she lost consciousness. Maybe it's her greatest wish that you will continue to take it and live.
Dr. Baiju, give it to me straight. How long does Jiang Li have?
The god remains have reached her internal organs. Under ordinary circumstances, I would give her less than 3 days. But if I were to treat her using a secret art...
Can't be thinking about that again.
But what would be the point of that? Dr. Baiju, I'm all too aware of the dangers of god remains. You are not the first to mention it to me. If I continue to sustain my own life using this wretched substance, not only would Jiang Li have to keep risking her life to make my medicine for me, but I would have to live with the looming threat of these remains breaking out and wreaking havoc not just upon me, but my entire family. I know for a fact that I should have died over a decade ago. The fact that I've been around to see how you grow up is already a great blessing from Rex Lapis. If my choice can bring Jiang Li back, then even if I die...
Jialiang?
After cheating death for so long, it seems I've grown somewhat addicted to life. Traveler, Dr. Baiju, could I have another minute with my wife? I just want to have one final moment together. Just a moment.
No one told me someone was gonna die in this quest.
Of course.
Thank you.
He's
everyone.
not dying.
And I'm sorry that I won't be able to repay your kindness in this life.
He's not dying. I'm not gonna let him.
Baizhu, Changsheng, is there really nothing else you can do?
I am sure that over the years, Jiang Li will have tried all the conventional methods known to humankind. As for less conventional methods, I have little expertise besides Changsheng's secret art.
Mortals are fated to grow old and pass on when their natural lifespan runs out. If it were so easy to combat the natural processes of aging and death, Jiang Li would not have had to resort to unnatural methods. What a crazy situation! Jiang Li risked it all to save Jialiang's life, and now Jialiang has to sacrifice himself to save Jiang Li! What's the point of it all?
All we can do right now is honor Zhao Yang's decision and bear witness.
I've seen many final farewells in my time, but I can never get used to it.
In the human realm, all things must come to an end. Is it not a fitting end to die for a worthy cause? At least, that's what generations of masters before you have always believed.
The path they chose was indeed a heroic one. But when I think of those who would willingly sacrifice themselves for others, I cannot help but think that theirs are the lives least deserving of death.
When all this began, we agreed that once Ayu was old enough to help you gather herbs, it would be time for me to go. If you could only see him now. He took me all the way to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. And he even got the Adventurers Guild to search for you. So, I know that you'll both be okay without me. I've said my goodbyes. My time has come. Do what you must.
As you wish.
If it throws me into a cutscene here, I swear. You're fine. You're okay.
Eat away at both your cognition and your memories. In the end, you'll become little more than a shadow of your true self.
I'll take it. At the very least, it will allow me to stay with you and watch Ayu grow up.
Mom, something's really wrong with Dad.
Don't fret, Ayu. I will gather some medicinal herbs right away. I promise you, nothing will happen to our family.
Why would these memories come to mind now?
Weak.
The longer we live, the tighter we cling to what we have. Oh, how I would love to hear your voice one last time.
It's not dead.
Jialiang. 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 Jialiang.
Dad, are you awake?
Knew it. I knew he wasn't dead. I knew it.
Jiang Li.
I knew it.
Are you? Didn't I... Huh? What are these?
How does it feel to come back to life?
Do you feel strange or different in any way? If so, could you describe it to me in detail?
Dr. Baizhu, I thought that I was going to...
Is she a zombie like Chi-Chi?
Die? You did indeed. As things stand now, you're more akin to a zombie than a human.
Okay, so he is.
I'm a zombie?
That's right. Before we set off, I asked Chi-Chi to prepare an
That's what it
elixir of
was.
immortality. With its help, you have been suspended in the space between life and death. Of course, this is but a crude imitation of an Adeptus art. I don't expect it to extend your life indefinitely. Whether it will keep you alive for a few days, a few months, or a few years, I'm as interested as you to find out. But, however long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before departing the world in peace. I hope that Director Who finds this arrangement to be a satisfactory one.
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh. Leave it to you to work on something like that behind my back.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no effect were it not for Jialiang's iron will. In the end, I am merely a doctor. I understand very little of the great principles governing life and death and the perpetual cycle of yin and yang. All I know is that if I'm presented with a life that deserves to be saved, I will do everything in my power to save them. And even this would have counted for nothing without Director Who's assistance. After all, did you not tell Jia Liang to show us the way before we set off for Qingsa village?
Oops. And I'm busted.
Without Director Who nudging things in the right direction, we may not have found Jiangli in time.
I knew someone was listening in on that conversation.
No wonder he didn't mention the elixir back then. I thought he was being frank and transparent with me for once, but apparently not.
Director Who told me to keep her suggestion a secret, but it seems nothing escapes Dr. Baiju's attention.
Never underestimate a serpent's sense of smell.
All I wanted was to help Jialiang find his missing wife as soon as possible, so that he could be on his way to the afterlife without any unfulfilled wishes making the journey more difficult than it needs to be. Leave it to Boo Boo Pharmacy to snatch the perfect opportunity right out of my hands at the last hurdle. Never mind. I'll just have to put it down in the books as a deferred consideration. One Chi-Chi was enough of a conundrum. The last thing I need's another one. If I'd known this was coming, I'd have whisked him off to the Wangsheng funeral parlor the moment I found him. You stay away from my dad! When I grow up, I'm gonna become an even better doctor than Mom and Baiju, and cure Dad for good! Oh, is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first person who's tried to put Wangsheng Funeral Parlor out of business. If you're serious about it, you'll have your work cut out for you. Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you all another time.
Bye-bye.
Is she finally gone?
All's well that ends well. If you ask Paimon, we should probably do something to celebrate this hard-earned family reunion.
Paimon's idea of a celebration can only mean one thing. Food.
At times like this, a grand celebratory feast is in order.
Yep. It feels like it was a whole lifetime ago when I last talked with Zhongli and Ayu around the dinner table.
This is a hard-won meal.
Yay! Paimon can't wait! Alright, first things first, off to the market for some fresh ingredients. Let's go!
Wait up! I'll come too!
Baiju, thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Don't mention it, Jiangli. I was just doing my duty.
Just your duty, huh? Baiju, Changsheng, would you mind if we took this conversation outside?
Oh. Attack! Oh, I can't fight. Bright. Getting flashbanged, oh my god. It's burning my retinas. No, I can fight. Oh, I teleport out of here. What if I teleport out of here? Can I just run around this Baiju? Aww. Boo.
Time to go.
Because I remember you could do that with Yoimiya's quest, or not her quest, but I'm pretty sure in the Inazuma Archon quest, or something, there was a part where you played as her, or it might have been her story quest. I can't remember, but they did like a Yoimiya trial, and I remember you could go around and stuff.
Jialiang!
Oh my god, it put me all the way back here.
Dad!
Do not teleport away, guys. Okay, let me skip all
Feel to
this.
come back to life.
Do you feel strange?
Dr.
Yeah,
Baishu.
skip. I've already heard all this.
That's right. Of course, this is whether it will
Spam
keep you
the
up.
spacebar.
However long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before.
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no if in the end. All I know is that if I'm presented with, and even this would, without Director Who nudging things in the right direction.
No wonder he didn't. All I wanted was leave it to Boo Boo. One Chi-Chi was enough.
You stay away from my dad!
Oh, is that right?
By who down?
Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you up.
All's well that ends well. If you ask Paimon, at times.
It feels like it was a whole lifetime ago.
Yay, Paimon! All right, first.
Wait up! I'll come.
Baiju.
Don't mention it, Gian.
Just your duty, huh?
Okay, here we go. We're not gonna teleport away this time.
Time flies. It's been so long since we bade each other farewell in Chenyu Vale. Changshang, you're the same as ever. You haven't changed one bit.
You, on the other hand, have changed a lot.
You're right. My younger self would have never imagined that things would one day turn out this way. Or that you'd turn out this way, Baiju.
What does that mean? Oh, she had a little 360 there.
I've taken a look at your elixir of immortality.
Let's try and do a
It's
reset
not
happened.
altogether dissimilar from the poison I concocted in terms of the way it functions.
I have to say, Jiangli, it was a stroke of genius to use poison to maintain life. I hope you're not too upset at me for copying your methods.
No, not at all. With your intellect, even if you'd never seen my poison, I believe you would have eventually arrived at the same approach. But I'm still impressed by how quickly you managed to gain such a thorough understanding of it. Jialiang's still only been in your care for a few days. Not just that, you even managed to improve upon the original formula. That cannot be explained by intellect alone. Baiju, be honest with me. Did you try out some of the poison on yourself?
Huh. Told you the truth would surface sooner or later.
Life force
So you
isn't
did.
the only thing that Changshang's contract lets you transfer between bodies, is it?
Nothing gets past you, Jiangli. You are correct. Besides life force, Changsheng's secret art also allows for the transfer of toxins and diseases. When I treated Jia Liang for the second time, I transferred some of the poison from his body into my own. Not only did this allow me to alleviate the burden on him, but it also gave me an opportunity to study its properties. There is no need to worry about any long-term consequences to my health, however. Now that the source has been destroyed, any remaining poison in me will have already dissipated.
But you took such a huge risk. If we hadn't destroyed the god's remains back there, then even you might have... What am I saying? I'm in no position to criticize you for this. The reason
reason I left our master and went into hiding all those years ago was that he was getting old, and I didn't want him using up any more of his own life force to treat my husband. But in the end, how were my methods any different? I risked one life to save another, and then you tried the poison on yourself too. It looks like both of us have ended up going the same way as our master before us. Are all disciples of Chenyu Vale destined to turn out this way? To live a short life, having given away our own for the sake of others? To fight relentlessly against the natural course of life and death, whatever the cost? Maybe our fate is sealed the moment we decide to study medicine.
We are doctors, Jiangli. We ought never say that anyone's fate is sealed.
Baizhu, I can tell that, over the years, you've used the contract with Changshang to transfer many diseases and toxins to yourself. There are so many that, some of them, I don't even recognize. Can you still stop before it's too late?
I think you know the answer, Jiangli. Every one of us from Chenyu Vale believes in the same thing.
Hey, food's ready!
Mom, come and join us. The Traveler taught me a load of new recipes and said even Dad'll be able to taste them. Come and try them out.
Yes, darling. Mom will be there in just a second. Hey, slow down. Baizhu, I know I won't be able to convince you, but please don't forget that if one day you're not around anymore, Chi-Chi, Gui, and all the friends who have grown fond of you, they will all miss you dearly.
There's no need to worry, Jiangli. I know what I'm doing.
I can only hope so.
Baizhu, what did Jiang Li mean by not around anymore? Are you gonna be okay?
Also, when how'd you say it? Changshang, or whoever was talking about fate. What did she mean exactly?
Every single mortal I've ever contracted with, including Baizhu and Jiang Li's master, has passed away at a young age. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. You said that the contract with you helps people live longer.
It is a very long story.
Long ago, when plagues ravaged the land, one doctor made a pledge to rid the world of pain and suffering. But even the most ingenious mortal medicine could not stay the tide of disease. And after working tirelessly for many years, even his dearest loved ones fell sick and bade their final farewell. Legends told of an herb lord in Chenyu Vale who could cure any illness known to mankind. The doctor sought the herb lord, but found only a white snake, its breathing weak and its power all but spent.
Sign this contract and let our lives be joined. Then I will impart to you the secret art of healing. But be warned, this art will harm your own health.
With means beyond human ken, the doctor could now reverse the process of death. And yet, the time still came to say goodbye. Only now, the one departing was the doctor, his life force spent. His final act in life was to pass on the contract to his final patient, his favorite disciple. The disciple chose to dedicate their life to saving the lives of others. And generation upon generation followed in these footsteps. Since I inherited this contract, I've always respected the path taken by my predecessors, and followed it myself unquestioningly. That is until I tried to use the art to save my own disciple's beloved. She begged me not to use up my own life force. She said that this art is a poisoned chalice, an evil and unnatural practice. She did not wish to sacrifice one life for the sake of another, when both were lives she treasured. Only then did it occur to me. Did I not suffer when my master passed away, just as patients' families do at their loved one's deathbed? Are not the lives cut short by this contract just as worthy of saving as any patients? What is this contract to us? Medicine or poison? Alas, I no longer have enough time left to find the answer. I entrust to your care both Changsheng and this final question. May you find a remedy for this conundrum, which has ailed us so.
Time and again, no matter how much I try to warn them or balance their chi, I can never save them. And you? What's your answer?
If I abandoned the contract and left you without a host, what would happen?
I suppose I'd spend my final moments taking a nice nap on Mount Yaojun. Then I'd be reunited with my old friends and your predecessors.
Then it's decided. If there's a life in front of me that deserves to be saved, why shouldn't I do everything within my power to save it?
Once again, it's the same answer. So be it. Close your eyes. Who knows how many more people will take on this contract?
None. This contract will end with me.
My contract has strict requirements on the host's natural temperament. All my hosts have been most pure of heart.
But when one with an altruistic nature gains access to this art, they are more seduced than the average person by the miracle of overturning the laws of life and death. Though they know better than anyone else the fate that awaits them, when faced with the sorrows of humanity and the pain of losing their nearest and dearest, they cannot help but reach beyond human means. They are like moths that throw themselves into the flame, seeking a glimmer of hope in a dark world filled with pain and suffering.
So, Baiju, does that mean...
I suppose that would make me a moth that yearns for the light, but doesn't want to be burned to a crisp. Changsheng's art can transfer pain and suffering between people, but it cannot reduce the total amount of pain in the world. It's just like we witnessed. Either Jia Liang feared for Jiang Li's life, or Jiang Li grieved over Jia Liang's sacrifice. I have nothing but the utmost respect for my predecessors, who sacrificed their lives for their principles. But I do not wish to join their ranks, nor do I wish to pass on this contract to anyone else in the future.
Huh? But didn't you already transfer a ton of diseases onto yourself?
What makes a poison, poison? And what makes a disease, a disease? When it comes down to it, are not both mechanisms that affect the operations of the human body? If disease is defined as deviation from normal functioning, then who knows? Perhaps the true elixir of immortality could in fact be a kind of poison. Many may view the notion of searching for immortality in poisons and illnesses as a flagrant violation of the natural order. But to me, it is no different from the way our ancestors tested the medicinal qualities of herbs by sampling each and every one. I don't want those who come after me to lose their lives to this contract. Nor do I wish for Changsheng to perish from losing her host. This leaves only one solution, doesn't it?
You have to become immortal yourself.
Precisely. I will be Changsheng's final host, and the tradition of passing down the contract will end with me.
Even the gods of old struggle to achieve true immortality. First you want to save others, then you want to save yourself. Now you even want to save me. You're getting greedy, Baiju.
But isn't wanting to have it all what makes us human? For a selfish moth like me, who's afraid of the flame yet yearns for the light, the only path forward is up towards the moon.
Huh. For once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
Damn, that's why
Dr.
I've
Baiju,
been
Traveler,
quiet.
what are you still chatting about? The food's about to get cold.
We also have coconut milk.
Cocoa goat milk.
For Changsheng and Paimon.
Okay, fine. Let's go grab some food. Paimon has a bunch of burning questions, but they can wait till after we've eaten.
Oh, Paimon.
I do envy Paimon sometimes. Eating her fill is enough to satisfy her body and mind.
True. And yet, although we call them simple pleasures, are such things as these not precisely why we mortals cling desperately to the life we have?
There's Baiju's quest. That is actually going to be the last one I'm doing on the stream, mainly because it is almost 2:30 a.m. and stuff, and I'm tired, right? And also, I want to see who is next. Next we got Yoimiya, and then we're on to the new Fontaine, the Fontaine characters, and then the new ones and stuff. So I'll hopefully have those done by the time 2.6, or not 2.6, 4.6 comes out. Because I kind of want to be caught up when Arlecchino story quest comes out. So I'm going to claim this really quick.
Thank you for
And, alright, yep, so, first stream with Basecamp, obviously all that stuff. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I do go live for future streams and stuff, so you won't miss out on them or anything. And that's gonna be it for this one. See you guys in the next
Surely
one.
enough to convince anyone
Goodbye.
to become a wanderer.
Oops, not that. I'm gonna turn that off. And alright, see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.